I just
Fine.
have
You're
to. I have,
fucking stop clicking on your
I'm on the
$5
grind.
game and fucking commit,
Fine,
bro.
fine.
Jesus
grind, bro.
Christ.
Fine. Fine.
I don't
Lad,
know
do you
how to
actually
avoid
listen
the
to me?
enemies, the electricity enemies, because they always fucking get me anyway.
Do you know what the best way to avoid it is? Just turn it off.
Oh yeah, good thing I alt tab.
Dude, the electro enemies are so bad, you know, because I'm allergic to electricity. Just makes me go crazy, you know.
I just got a fucking ad. God damn it, this game.
You know, I just have an allergic reaction to electricity, you know. It's unfortunate.
No.
I might have
No.
a battery in my shirt right now, but you know.
That sounds hard.
I am not crazy.
I am not crazy.
I'm not crazy.
I'm not crazy.
I love how in order for you to commit to it, I had to tell you that in the next episode he looks like an idiot, and then you're like, oh yes.
I gotta
yes.
see this then. I gotta see it.
That's like the best episode of that season.
It's such a good episode. Holy shit.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy.
All I'm gonna say, Yesh, is that my sleep schedule is fucked because this asshole wants to watch Better Call Saul so fucking late at night.
Listen.
No.
Sometimes,
Well, you better not be taking any naps.
sometimes people just fall asleep on their own. That's out of my control.
Oh yeah, Dom.
Yeah, exactly. Blame Dom.
That's why I had to do it, but then fucking Liam wanted to make pedophile jokes. I'm like, all right, motherfucker, I see how it is.
Not just crazy, I'm nuts. Hush. Wow. Alright, I think, we're good to start momentarily, okay. So, obviously, judging by the title, we'll be talking about Sonic Adventure 2. Luckily for
Hold on a
SK,
minute.
this game has been split this year in general opinion on its quality, meaning this shouldn't get backlash like a certain Insomniac game back in the day.
Oh no.
Well, yeah, from what I can tell, Sonic Adventure 2 has been getting, like, more critical. Like, people have been getting more critical over the years, so that's definitely interesting to hear.
Yeah. I mean, I saw a tweet literally last week of someone that came across Sonic Adventure 2 playable in an arcade. And he was like, oh my god, I finally get to play the Go. I've never played it. And then he quote tweeted it like an hour later, like, holy shit, this game's dog shit. And it's like, whoa. Because that's exactly how I felt when I first played it.
No, yeah, when I, like, replayed it after, like, years, because, like, you know, I think I last played it, like, many years ago, and then I picked it up recently this year, or maybe in 2024, I can't remember. I replayed it, and I just thought, yeah, this has a lot of problems. I don't know how this is one of the best Sonic games. I mean, it definitely added to the franchise, that's for sure. But, I don't know, I don't think it holds up that greatly.
It definitely exists as part of the franchise. It's definitely there.
They gave us Rouge the Bat.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we'll go left to right. PJ, what do you think of Sonic Adventure 2?
Oh boy, I think it's really mid. I think it's mid. I can confidently say that Sonic Frontiers is actually, as much as I have like my reservations with the game, I actually think it's a lot better than SA2. Because even though it does have its slight jank to it, it's not as like bad as like fucking SA2. And I know most people want to say that like, oh, you know, SA2 has like the best gameplay, like the best physics, even though the physics are fucking non-existent in that game. It's like, I get it. I get why people like SA2. It's a great story, you know, it's part of their childhood, but it's like, you know, if you are a straight man like me, totally straight, I don't like men at all. I love you, Dom, if you're watching. And fucking, you know, you kind of look at it the lens of like today. It's like, nah, yeah, this game plays weird. But yeah, I do agree that with the person in the chat that the Sonic and Shadow sections are better, are like the best part of the games, but the other ones
the
are
only
fucking
playable parts of the game.
Yeah, literally the only playable parts of the game. The one that pisses me off the most are like the Knuckles, the treasure hunting gameplay, because Bro, because the ones in the first game, in the first adventure game, I actually think it's like as good as like the Sonic levels. I think that treasure hunting stage in SA1 are like great. And then in 2, it just feels like I'm playing fucking Gmod in a fucking Toy Story map. It's like, it's terrible.
Damn. Yeah, I think those stages are definitely more empty in comparison as well.
It is dog shit.
Kronos just said, you clearly haven't considered that I like the people who made the game.
I don't.
I'm gonna slap you.
Damn. My opinion is it's hardly okay, there's a typo here. My guess is it's hit hard, partly because Shadow is popular, and partly because it was the last game on a Sega console, as well as the first game to be on another console. I think the popularity for the game comes from, obviously, like, the story. It does a lot for the franchise, and I think people really liked the Sonic stages because of, I guess, the way it pushed the 3D elements forward, right? Because obviously they changed the lightspeed dash, they had the chained homing attacks, and they have, like, the drop attacks. So yeah, they clearly made a lot of changes that made Sonic's moveset a little more modern. Well, a lot more modern. And I definitely think that's a positive for the games, but, you know, there's just too many problems for this one, which we'll get into. To get into my opinion on the game as a whole, I think it is... I don't want to say it's, like, terrible or, like, broken, because I don't think that. But I definitely think it's weak, and it's a kind of below average. Like, I would give it... if I were to give it, like, a number rating, I'd probably give the game as a whole a 4 out of 10. It's, like... It's not terrible, but it's not good either. I don't think it really holds up that well. And although, like, the Sonic and / Shadow stages are mostly okay, it's really the Tails and Knuckles stages that knock it down fairly significantly. And yeah, it's kind of a shame, but, you know, at least we got better stuff moving forward. But yeah, that's my general thoughts on Sonic Adventure 2.
Fire.
Yeah, we'll listen to Yesh.
I initially played the battle mode of Sonic Adventure 2 with my housemate. And I enjoyed that quite a bit. So I decided I might as well actually get the game on Steam and try it, because I hadn't fully played it before. I thought it was fine at the start. Like, I did enjoy it. And then it does, of course, the other levels with Tails and Shadow. And it's not just jarring how different they are, they're not good. Like, they're not fun. They're annoying. And they go on way longer than the Sonic levels go on for. And it's like, not only are the majority of the content is not the Sonic levels, but the whole point of the Sonic levels is to do them quickly. So when you do, like, a Sonic level in 2 minutes, and then, here's 40 minutes of other shit that you have to do, it's like, it got so jarring that I got to, like, the third Knuckles level, and I was like, I can't play this game anymore. To which I got my housemate to play the Knuckle and Tails parts for me, so that I could just play the Sonic levels. To which I then thought the Sonic levels were fine, like, not great. And I think the reason the Sonic levels stand out in that game so much is because the rest of the game is ass. Like, it's so ass to play that playing the Sonic levels feels more exciting, because, you know, they actually care about the player having a good time with those ones. But it's definitely a step in the right direction, and Sonic's moveset is definitely good. But there's what 5 actual levels in that game? Like, there's not a lot in there. And
with Shadow, I think it's 4.
Yeah, and they're the same levels again, and it's like the game basically has no content, and it fills that content with stuff that just feels incredibly irritating to play. And to me, it's like, imagine if Mario 64 was like 5 paintings but in between each one, you had to do 30 minutes of Dr. Mario and then 30 minutes of Mario Paint before you're allowed to play the next level. Like, it would just, it'd be dog shit. And that's what it feels like. But, yeah, wasn't the biggest fan. And I just about finished the Heroes story, and I just couldn't do any more of it.
Damn.
Nintendo hired this man.
Alrighty. Yeah, so, I guess, we'll just try to go in, like, a specific order when trying to break down the stages, because they're so distinct from one another. I guess we could start with the speed stages, that's what we'll call them. And I guess, we've touched upon them already, but, I generally thought the speed stages were fine, they were, decent, but of course they have flaws within them as well. And yeah, I guess discuss what doesn't necessarily work. I think a good place to start would be the controls, right? A big thing that really bothers me about the controls is that obviously you have the action button and the jump button, but the action button does like so many different things at once. If you want to flip a switch, you have to hit the same button. If you want a somersault, you have to hit the same button. If you want a drop attack, you have to hit the same button. If you want a lightspeed dash, you have to hit the same button. And it's like, that just gets annoying sometimes, because like, if I were to give an example, let's say you have to jump in the air and do a lightspeed dash, or if you just want to do that for fun, because that's a fun way to traverse, better hope the drop dash doesn't bite you in the ass when you're trying to do that. It's like, damn, that would be really bad. Or if you're trying to gain momentum, and I think this is especially apparent in like the Shadow second boss, where you're trying to gain momentum by doing the lightspeed dashes, but then it's just like, no, actually, we're gonna do a somersault here. It's like, oh, great, thank you.
Literally.
Yeah. How many buttons did the Sega have that it originally came out of?
Because Dreamcast?
Which console was it?
I think it was Dreamcast, right?
Yeah. It was Dreamcast, yeah.
Okay, let me
Did that only have 2 buttons and a D-pad? Because that's how the game plays.
So I'm looking at it, and there's apparently 4 buttons and a D-pad.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It has the Y, X, B, A.
Does it have shoulder buttons?
Let me see. It's a little hard for me to tell. I don't know. I don't know, actually. Oh, yeah, I think it does, maybe.
Yeah,
I'll just look it up. Does the Sega Dreamcast have shoulder buttons?
I'm pretty sure it did. At least like 2 of them.
They adopted the PS1 layout, but without additional shoulder buttons.
So R1 and R2, but it didn't. Sorry,
Yeah.
R1 and L1, but it didn't have L2 and R2, right?
Yeah, it seems that way.
So I just don't see what they were doing with the controls, because they're so unnecessarily jank.
Yeah, it's just that really is, that just plays into so many gameplay issues, some of which could be really like consequential to the progression in the game.
Yeah.
It's just like one small fix, just, giving it its own button, that would just do so many wonders. Yeah.
It's weird, because it's when I hear people argue, it's a bit jank, but it's this age and blah blah blah. But I'm like, at the end of the day, and I'm not doing this to join in the Mario versus Sonic war, okay? Because to me there is no fucking war.
You monster.
But I just if you look at Mario 64, which is an older game, when you tell people to go back and play that game, you don't have to excuse its jank. Because yeah, it has a bit of jank and it's an old game, but it's not like it's so jank that you have to keep defending how old it is. Like Mario 64 is still an enjoyable game, and it still controls really well. And people treat Sonic Adventure 2 like it's the Mario 64 of the Sonic franchise. And then it's like, okay, well, you know, that's the quality of the Sonic franchise then, I guess. because I don't know. I think I played too many Sonic games that came afterwards that I don't know why Sonic Adventure 2, outside of it bringing in its best character in Shadow, I don't know why it's given so much praise, because there are so many better games that came out after it. Like, as coming from the outside as not a big Sonic fan, why are people worshipping Sonic Adventure 2 that makes you look bad when you could worship something like Sonic Unleashed?
Yeah. Well,
Honestly.
like Super Mario 64, that came out like years before Sonic
Yeah,
Adventure
like
2.
5-6 years.
It was like 95,
96, I think.
90, yeah, 96, and then Adventure 1 was either 98 or 99.
Yeah, and we had like Super Mario 64 on DS come out in 2004. We had Super Mario Sunshine in 2002.
Sonic Rush. I love Sonic Rush.
But yeah, it's just, I think there's some things, of course, that you can say is a product of their time, but I think the vast majority of the problems in Sonic Adventure 2, I don't think they can really be excused by the time it was released, because a lot of these decisions, like, they could have been changed, like, in the process. So it's a little hard for me to just be like, oh, well, it was done, it released in 2001. It's like, well, yeah, but we've had other games that have avoided these kinds of issues. So, yeah. But yeah, that's just like one element of the controls that's just really bothersome. And it gets kind of worse when you start to consider the mechanics that are involved with the action button, right? I think one of the effective ones I'll give credit to is the drop attack. I think that one's really satisfying to use. I think it's really, like, the physics for it are great. I think it seems to be pretty much functional. I've never had issues with the drop attack. But
Bounce Bracelet.
Yeah, the bounce bracelet, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's a little weird to me that Shadow doesn't seem to have it. I like, when I've played it, I can't get it to Shadow. So yeah, the drop attack, I thought that was good. But I think well, firstly, the Lightspeed Dash, I also think that one's really good as well, if it just worked properly. But the Somersault, I think, is a really strange mechanic in the context of this game, because all it really serves as is just a slower spin dash, if you really think about it. It pretty much just makes it so when you're trying to, like, no matter how fast your momentum is, it just locks you at a certain move speed, and you're just automatically slower. Like, it doesn't ease you in to become slower, it just does it, which is really dissatisfying as a player. I think it's really strange that, you know, I'm going really fast and I have to do this parkour thing to go underneath. You know, I get that. But then I hit the button and I just instantly move slower, which is like, that's weird. And I think the later games have done a better job with this by making it so, like, you know, obviously they do the slides now. They ease you in to moving slower. Like, you see that in, well, what? I played Project 06, I don't play the actual 06, but in Project 06 they do it, in Unleashed they do it, in Generations they do it, where it eases you in to the slide. It doesn't just slow you immediately, which is really awkward. Oh, thanks for the $2, Temerate of Imbar. But yeah, like, the Somersault just, like, doesn't add anything, and to be honest, I find it weird that the spin dash, right, because the spin dash is it's kind of made more useless if we can't, like, go down, like, narrow pathways with it, because the Somersault, all it is just a spin. The spin dash is a faster spin, but apparently I can't spin dash underneath small areas, and I have to use the Somersault for it when it's far less engaging, which, yeah, that's weird, and it definitely takes away incentive to use the spin dash. But on top of that, we've basically had this figured out in the Genesis games, where if you want to go down, like, a narrow path, obviously you can't run, but you can either move the D-pad, like, down, so you do, like, kind of like a somersault, but it still eases you to slow down, or you could just straight up spin dash, one or the other. Both of them work. So it's a little jarring that they were able to handle that concept better in the older games versus this game.
Also, bear in mind the port of it, the PC port of it, is bad.
I fucking hate it.
Yeah, it's really, really bad. So if you've played the game via like a GameCube emulator, that's the best modern way to play that game. And if you play the official PC port of it, it runs like ass. And I know SK and I had the same problems where there's so many of the, I think it's the slide, it doesn't work properly. And you had to stop and then do the spin dash.
Yeah,
or whatnot. Like you had to stand still, and it was so annoying.
I actually did try that, right? I've been playing Sonic Adventure 2 on the GameCube version for Dolphin Emulator, and I did try the whole like somersault thing. The somersault thing is pretty much the same in my experience. Like it doesn't really, I just don't see that big of a difference between the PC port and the GameCube one on Dolphin. Because, like, yeah, it still runs into, like, the same issues, and I did test it to see, like, if I could spin dash underneath the stuff, and it just still doesn't let me. I still have to somersault underneath it. So, it's just, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's just, the GameCube seems closer to what, like, the base original game was. And I don't know, I don't see that big of an issue, big of a difference between the two, in terms of the porting. I guess like it's a little bit better for the GameCube one, because obviously the PC one runs into quite a bit of problems. But I don't know, it didn't really improve the core game design for me.
Yeah, I'm the exact same.
Yeah.
Fortunately, and it's, I mean, going back to all the actions being on one button as well. And I don't know if it's better on the GameCube, but with this game, I mean, God, I wasn't enjoying it too much, and so obviously there's a bias there. But dying was so much more irritating in this game than most I've played, because dying and then having to start all over again in a game that's not super fun and a bit janky is so irritating. And the problem I was having was, like, not because I did something stupid or didn't do the level correctly. Most of the deaths I had across the whole game was because the game didn't do something that I wanted it to do. And
Same here.
And it's because everything is put on one button. And it's the amount of times where, you know, you have to do what is the target dash? Where you're bouncing between enemies.
The homing attack.
Homing attack. The amount of times that I would want to do a homing attack, and I'd be like in the middle of a string of homing attacks, and then it would just suddenly decide to dash off to the side, or just dash not towards the next enemy, was so infuriating.
That shit's so annoying.
Happens so often.
Yeah.
And those, when a game is difficult because it's not doing what you want, that's when it becomes irritating. And Sonic Adventure 2, if it actually fully worked, it wouldn't be a very difficult game. I didn't find much challenge in it at all. The only times that I would struggle with it was it just not doing the right thing. And that happens so much.
Yeah, and this is the problem I have with people who defend the game by saying, well, this is a skill issue. Because the problem is that a lot of the issues with, like, a lot of the challenges with the game isn't necessarily the built-in game obstacles. It's more so the technical jank throughout the game. Like, for example, the camera. The camera's really bad in all of the stages. So if I'm constantly fighting the camera, if I'm dying because the camera is so bad, then, yeah, that's not really a product of the built-in obstacles in the game. That's a product of them not designing the camera work well. That's the big problem here. Another example would be, you know, like we talked about with the buttons. If my character dies because it somersaults off a cliff instead of lightspeed dashing, or it drop dashes instead of letting me do the lightspeed dash, then how is that good gameplay design? That's not good challenge. That's me fighting the game because I can't do what the controls are designating me to do, because they have so many different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so inexcusable. Yes, I agree. Mario 64 does have a worse camera, but if you don't try and control it, it's still fine. And this is the thing. Sonic Adventure 2 has a slightly better camera to control, but if you let the game just decide where the camera's pointed, it makes terrible decisions. The actual design of where the camera moves with the player isn't great. And Mario 64, you can very happily complete the entire game and never touch the camera controls because it's fine. It works fine. And also, it doesn't have movement that's dependent on where the camera's facing. And that's something Sonic Adventure 2 does have, is that if the camera is slightly off, it will affect whether or not it will decide to do a homing attack. And that's so annoying.
Yeah. Homing attack was just complete jank, right? I don't think there's any other game where I've had this much of an issue with the homing attack, where I would blatantly do the homing attack, but then it just doesn't go to the enemy, or I take damage anyway, just for no reason. Something interesting if you want to, watch this for entertainment. The Gaming Rift has multiple streams, or maybe it's one stream, I can't remember. But he has streams on his channel playing Sonic Adventure 2, and constantly, like when you can look at the gameplay footage, he would use the homing attack properly, and it just wouldn't register properly, and then he dies because of it. It's just silly.
That was most of my deaths were because of the homing attack.
It's so fucking annoying.
It's so jank.
Bro, I always had to press the top D-pad to extend the camera to beat it in Mario 64.
Skill issue.
I'd have to look at Mario 64 again to really, assess the camera. But all I can really say is that, at least when I played it on the DS, because that's what I played it on, well, the 3DS, but, the DS game, I've never really had much issues with the camera. I think if that was so much of an issue to me, it would have, stuck in my head. But maybe I do need to replay it, who knows? But I don't know, I just remember it being a lot cleaner in Mario 64.
Yeah. That's the thing. You can press up on the D-pad for a wider view, but it doesn't change how Mario moves. And that's the difference with Sonic Adventure 2. Depending on the camera angle, it can affect whether or not Sonic will do the right action when you press the button. Because it's based on what the camera detects. So I think. But Mario 64, it doesn't matter as much. You can still have the exact same movement with the camera never changing. And you've also got to bear in mind, Mario 64 basically, propelled forward the 3D platforming genre. If you asked a lot of people, they'd be like, yeah, that's the, defining
first. One of the more early
3D
3D platformers.
I mean, before Mario 64?
Crash, wasn't it? Or was Crash after 64?
Crash was afterwards.
Hmm.
There's some games, I mean, that were in the 90s, but it's not the same type of platform. I'm trying to think what it was.
Kronos just said, can it even be called a homing attack if it doesn't even home onto the target? Exactly.
Yeah, because it is directional. It's not that it's homing at the enemy. It decides on the direction towards the enemy.
The camera turning can also be very annoying in 64. It's sometimes too much or too little. Well, the thing is about the camera turning in Mario 64 is we have to remember that it is a different game as well. Sonic games are dedicated towards speed, generally speaking, right? And you have to get through the map very quickly, and you kind of have to fight the camera while you're also trying to efficiently get through the level. Whereas in Mario games, sure, you can move through it fast, but it's not fast to the extent of Sonic. And also, there's more of an exploration element when playing as Mario. So even if the camera isn't that up to par, it's well, they're less obligated to because it's not the same as Sonic.
I mean, I also think the level design in Mario 64 is so much more intuitive.
For sure, yeah.
Anyway, you know where you're supposed to be going most of the time, and Sonic Adventure 2, especially that final level, God, it can get confusing in where it expects you to go.
Oh,
And when you can't look around you, like you can't look around. In Mario 64, you can almost look around at least. But
well, that's the
Sonic
crazy
Adventure
thing.
2, you can't.
That's the crazy thing. With the shoulder buttons, you can like kind of turn the camera, but you can't look up and down. And even when you try to turn left and right, it just locks you back into an angle. It's like you can't trust the camera. It's just against you. You have to fight the camera.
Yeah.
I feel like it wasn't that. I feel like that's like every old 3D platformer back then. You just have to fucking fight the camera.
It's unfortunate, yeah.
It's just the reason why I would defend Mario 64 more is purely on the basis of, you know, that it was kind of doing it in that style first.
So what you're saying is you're a show.
Yeah, for Mario 64, yeah. Yeah. Dude, no platformer can, you know, 3D platformer can quite step away from Mario 64. You know?
64 was big.
Look at how well Odyssey is done. Mario Odyssey has done exceptionally well. And the reasoning for that is that they were like, okay, we're going to make something a bit more like Mario 64. A bit more like a 3D sandbox where Mario has more moves and you can make your way around however you like. And like that's why it's so great and that's why it works. The Mario 64 is fundamental to the genre. And it's like if you come out years and years after it and you make a you know, camera control that's worse than something that tried doing it first, it's not really excusable.
I think Sonic's final stage is really underrated. The many skips you can take and how it's not too hard or too easy for people is a really cool design.
No.
I think Sonic's final... I assume we're talking about Final Rush.
I fucking hate that level. That level is so
Final
bad.
Rush? Well, I do find the grinding and stuff interesting, right? I do think that is a fun element of it. However, I do think that it is a bit of a jump. The reason I think it's a bit of a jump,
the grinding.
Yeah, the grinding.
Fuck me. Fuck me. I completely forgot about how bad the grinding controls are.
The thing is about the grinding is that it's so
they're
not
inexcusable. They're so inexcusable. If you hold a direction and then jump, you'll just jump off the edge and fucking die. To jump between rails, you have to jump first and then move to the side to guarantee that Sonic won't just kill himself. The amount of fucking times that I would just kill myself because I was trying to jump between rails and he would just launch off the edge and go a kilometer to the fucking east.
That's
my
god.
Yeah,
that's why.
Why?
That's exactly why I do not like that level either. Because it's just you literally cannot do a thing, otherwise you are fucking falling to earth.
Well, another thing is that the grinding, it's not very well built up to, because yes, it does introduce the grinding in City Escape, and you kind of have to go through it. It doesn't incentivize you to necessarily master it, but more so just stay on the rail. That's what I'm trying to do as a player. I'm just trying to stay on the rail. And sure, like, it tells you, like, the braking thing, so you can, like, try to go faster, for sure. But I think a big component for why this doesn't work in, all the way to Final Rush is because if you try doing that, if you just try doing what the game originally told you to do, you can easily run into the mistake where you use the front, you move forwards with the joystick or whatever, or the D-pad, and if you move forward and you try to hit the brake thing on the grind rail, you don't actually go faster. You actually hinder yourself. And I had to, like, test around to figure this out. Like, why is it that I'm trying to go a loop-de-loop on this rail in Final Rush, but for some reason I just can't? It stops me. I'm hitting the button that it's telling me to use when I'm on the grind rail. So what is the problem here? And then I realized, wait, hold on. Is it literally because I'm moving forward? And then I tried again, and it turns out that it is the case. It's literally because I'm moving forward on the joystick that's causing me to go slower. Which is like, how is that intuitive of grinding controls?
Oh god, yeah.
Like, that feels anti-intuitive.
Yeah, none of it feels intuitive. None of it feels intuitive.
Yeah.
And it's not like it teaches you at any point. Like, And that's the thing that I found annoying. The people that kind of love Sonic Adventure 2 have been playing it for so long that all of this unintuitive jank to them is second nature to deal with.
Yeah.
If you grew up with that game, you're not even going to think about any of this because you've been playing it for so long that you can just do these. And it's 5 levels. It's like 5 levels. Like, yeah, I'd hope after 20 odd years of playing this game, you're good at it. And that's the problem, is that when new people try it out and they don't have 20 years of dealing with this unintuitive jank, they're not going to like it as much.
Yeah.
And then the people defending it will be like, well, I don't have a problem. And it's like, yeah, you probably did when you were 4. And this game took you like a year to complete.
It's the comic legend.
Disingenuous.
Comic legend. You gotta stop doing that. Y'all got to.
Where the fuck were you?
School stuff.
Gotcha.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, we're just talking about the grinding in Sonic Adventure 2 and how it's like not very, how the controls are not very intuitive.
White shit.
Prove it.
Prove it right now.
Show me that.
Show me that right now. But yeah, I remember, I can actually speak from a really funny experience. Liam was playing Sonic Adventure 2 in the League Entertainment server, and he was streaming it, and he was getting so mad at the railing, because he would try to go up the rail, and he was hitting the action button, as he should, to do, like, the rail break or whatever, and what happens is that, like, each and every time he did it, he's like, what the fuck? Why can't I make it up this rail? Why can't I make it up? And I had to tell him, no. Take your hand off the D-pad or whatever. Don't move forward with it. Just hit the action button. And then he tried it. It's like, oh, so that was the solution. And that's just a whole nother thing. The game never tells you not to use the D-pad to move forward. Which, again, that's just not intuitive at all whatsoever.
Absolute trash.
Absolute trash. I'll admit
Are you streaming right now?
Yes, I am. We are live, so don't say anything that'll incriminate you. Don't admit to a felony.
Well, it's your word against mine.
I'll admit I've taken this conclusion from someone else, but Sonic games typically take a method of replicating arcades, where they throw you in and expect you to master it through practice. No, I get that for sure, but I think the problem is
arcades
that
have controls on the side of the machine.
Well, yeah, they do, but also there needs to be a level of intuitiveness in the controls, and like that's how players learn, right? It has to be intuitive in some form, and the grinding controls, they don't build up to when you have to master it very well, because for all the other stages, it just comes across as optional, like I don't have to do it, and 2, it's just, again, the controls aren't intuitive. They do nothing to really guide the player to understand them, and that's the gist of it. And if you get the grinding controls wrong, then you're very likely just gonna die in the level.
Yeah, it was annoying. I feel like they should have just explained it better. That's really it.
Or just not made holding forward break.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why? Why?
I
Why would you ever do that?
don't get it.
Any fucking video game.
It's
so
genuinely
weird.
The grinding could have been better but they didn't really improve it in later games. They simplified it, which while for better, it could have been great if they fixed the issues for the gameplay experience. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
I would actually like if they went the Project 06 route, and obviously there's changes you can make to that as well, but I did like how with Project 06, it's not just like simplistic grinding like you see in the more modern games, but you actually have to, I guess, maneuver yourself in a way that increases your speed while you're grinding, and you can actually do some unique tricks with it, which I think does way better than what's come before and after. Well, I say after, but you know what I mean. It's into the original games from 2006, where those are the original ideas. And imagine a world where Sonic 06 was actually like, peak. They gave them the time to finish that.
It would have literally been Adventure 3.
It would have changed the whole franchise, and we'd probably get more games like that.
Well, changed the whole franchise in a different direction. It certainly changed the franchise after that.
Oh yes, have you played Project 06?
Is that the fix fan version?
Yeah, that one.
Been going on? No, I've not played it. I've seen a lot of it online. And it does look really good.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. I think you'll get a lot of enjoyment out of the levels. I feel like it is a perfection of the adventure formula, in the sense that it fixes a lot of the problems with Sonic's gameplay in this game, but also it does a really good job balancing the other characters and actually makes them really fun to play as.
I think the biggest problem with Sonic and Shadow's levels in the game is once you like play them quite a bit, you start to kind of realize that a lot of the levels just aren't really that engaging platformers.
Yeah.
Like, I remember watching a video that broke it down, and it kind of like opened my eye with the shit. Most of what you do in Sonic stages aren't even platforming. You're just kind of going forward and interacting with like on rails like things to move faster, and that's kind of the whole fucking game.
Yeah,
It's
is
very
like
rare.
that for a good
You really
portion.
rarely have to actually like bounce across obstacles, or like you might fall into a pit or anything. That's like really rare in the game, which is really weird.
Well,
It means
yeah,
that the
and
platforming is barely engaging.
so much of it is like, oh, it looks really good when you're going fast, but I don't feel like any of the games required you to go fast. Like, if you just took it slow and just did everything bit by bit, you could still get through the game. And it's like, I feel like in those games they should have encouraged speed as something you needed to do rather than just something that makes it look to play through. And I just don't.
Well, they're supposed to encourage you to balance your speed, because if you go too fast, it will punish you, is the idea. But problem is, in Adventure 2, if you go too fast, most of the time you're not really going to die, because there's no real, like, challenging obstacles. At most, you just have a momentary lapse of, like, slowing down.
Yeah.
So there's just nothing really to it.
You know, it's kind of funny that the worst parts of the game, the Knuckles and Tails gameplay, has way more platforming than the Sonic and Shadow ones.
Oh yeah.
No, unironically, especially like at least the Tails one, you have to somewhat consider your jumps or whatever.
Yeah, the Tails one actually felt more like a platform.
It did kind of.
Which sucks because it plays so goddamn slow.
Dude, they should have got rid of the fucking enemies and got rid of the missile shit, because that was the part of it that was bad. Like, dude, what a fucking boring way to play a game. I'll hold down this button and spin the camera. What?
Yeah.
Why? That sucked. That sucked. And the actual like jumping and gliding, cool. That was cool.
Yeah, I guess this would probably be a good time to like I guess move towards well, before we move towards the tail stuff, right? I think there is, I guess, a level worth talking about, which is like the gravity level, which is right before Final Rush. What do we think of that?
Crazy
Which one is
Gadget.
that again?
Crazy Gadget.
Crazy
The
Gadget.
one when you go, yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah.
even putting aside how janky it is to do the anti-gravity stuff, which adds nothing, but trying to make a Sonic level like a bit of a maze and be like, oh, you can go the wrong way. It's like, well, Jesus Christ. Why do we need to make Sonic even slower? Like, this game already makes you stop and do shit to make sure the controls work. So adding in, oh, you can go the wrong way and you have to backtrack and... Ugh, horrible. Dreadful choice.
It did feel like...
It also just has the most annoying enemy types. The fucking... The, Chaos drones or whatever are just fucking broken.
Drones.
They're not fair. Like, they can basically cover all of their bases while attacking you, meaning that there's no way to just avoid taking a hit from them. Unless... The only way to go damageless on those maps where they have the Chaos drones is to literally just memorize which attack they do first, because they will always do the same attack. It's either some of them in some parts of the level do the laser eyes first, or the the arm shit first. So you just have to like memorize which one is which.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying.
It's fucking shit. It just means like going damageless is really bad. That's like a problem I have with Adventure 2. Going damageless is blatantly unfair at points because the enemy types are just fucking irritating to fight.
Yeah, it is a little annoying at times when enemies just like, they spawn in right as you enter as part of the stage, but it's kind of just in your face as opposed to like some kind of indicator that they're gonna show up there. And I feel like at that point, it's less so skill on the player and more so just memorizing the stage, because now you have to think to
or
yourself,
just randomly missiles will hit you.
Yeah,
like in Radical Highway.
You also defeat them all the same way. Like, so many of the enemies, just... Why bother making them look different?
Well,
You're not tricking anyone.
well, to add on, right? To add on, I think it definitely gets annoying when the camera is just against you, and I think Meteor Herd was a really bad example of this, because I played it last night, and one of the most annoying elements was the fact that because the camera kept fighting me, it would obscure like the meteors that are just dropping down, and I get hit by them without knowing, because the camera just didn't warn me. And it can't warn me because, like, if I try to turn it a specific way, I just go straight into a wall and it starts blocking things. Yeah, camera's really bad in this game.
Yeah.
Also, just the level design is not open at all. Like, the speed stages are way too linear for the most part. There's no real branching. There's not that many branching paths. There's no like exploration at all in the game when you're playing as the speed characters. It's really, really on railsy and kind of boring. Like, it's harder to revisit the levels compared to PO6, for example, because in PO6, like, all the levels feel like open fields.
I know, that was like
there's
crazy.
A lot of different there's always like a different way you can go through the level that's like completely new.
Yeah.
That's just not an Adventure 2. There's just, you can sometimes go to the left in it, even though it's the same fucking thing. It's like, whoa.
Yeah, or sometimes you can, like, take a rail instead.
The only level that actually was, like, really good with its branching paths was the final rush level for Sonic. That was, like, the only one I remember being, like, somewhat open. Probably the best level in the game, because, like, you actually have to be good with the railings.
Yeah,
you can fall off and die. You have to be decent at platforming. There's, like, you gotta watch out for enemies because they can knock you off the stage and kill you and stuff. It actually felt like somewhat of a platformer. I just don't know why we don't get more levels like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know why. They're too busy making fucking Tails and Knuckles levels and dumb shit like that.
Yeah, I think we can, like, shift towards the Tails levels, because I don't understand a lot of the process behind these levels, and I think as Yesh described it earlier, it's kind of just you position the camera and then you just shoot, and, like, you jump sometimes, which is like
if you don't care about getting A rank to complete those levels, you just spam the attack button and walk around. And then do some basic platforming.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you do, it's a little more interesting because, you want to, like, rack up as many, like, lock-on target kills without getting hit or whatever. But it's like, if your game is only engaging, if you basically force yourself to, like, get the highest rank in a level or something, that's not good game design. It should be at least somewhat engaging to play if you don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem with those
it's
levels.
one of the reasons it doesn't hold
bland.
up. It's because, in this day and age, there's so many games you can play that most people that want to play, an old game just want to play it from start to finish. And Sonic Adventure 2, like, it's definitely something that fans of the game that have been playing it a while enjoy replaying, but, and getting those high scores. But for your average player that just wants to play the game through start to finish, it's not a fun experience. And those levels don't feel like they have anything to them.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a huge factor into why it's so... Well, yeah.
It's something really interesting that I want to say. Sorry to cut you off, but like, it's strange that So like, how I see it is like, usually when we criticize like the Tails and Knuckles levels, it's really strange because all I hear for a defense is just basically just arguments about, oh no, it's better if you like replay it and get good at it and master it and all that. Like, you know, there's a higher skill ceiling is the argument. And what's weird about that is games that are good are fun to play before you master them. That's like how you give someone, like, at least for me, I want an incentive to master a game.
Yeah.
Like, if I think of a
Arkham
game
Knight.
that I mastered, like Arkham Knight. Well, mainly City. I'm better at City than Knight, surprisingly. Why did I master that game? Because when I played it, when I wasn't that good, it was still fun. It's a fun game, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, SK can attest to that, because he's shit at Arkham, and he's still having fun.
Fuck you.
Yeah, so it's because, like, you know, the gate, like, it's engaging in a base level. There's like, oh, I gotta consider the shield enemy type in combat and, you know, do the aerial attack. Gotta do a beatdown. Ooh, maybe I should use a special combo on the armored guy. Whoa. Like, that's basic shit. And you're, like, thinking, and you're doing shit that's actually, like, engaging to the brain and fun, even though you're not mastering the game. And then once you master it, you, like, consider all these other things, like, you know, some of the tech that I learned. I remember I tried to teach you one of them, SK, the fucking beat down, throw the batarang behind,
Yeah.
get them off your ass. Like, shit like that, right? But if someone went like, oh, I don't like Arkham combat, I'm not going to go, well, if you learn this tech right here, and da-da-da-da-da, then you'll like it. It's like, no, that's stupid.
I also
why would they want to learn that if they don't like the game in a base level?
I don't buy that.
That's the problem with the Knuckles levels. They're fucking boring in a base level. You're just walking, like, if you don't know the master skills of how to do it, you're just walking around like an idiot trying to find like the fucking emeralds.
Yeah, I mean,
like you're just literally just walking around like a dumbass and then like listening or like reading the hints and hoping that the hints are helpful. That's kind of it. It's really boring.
I don't buy that the skill ceiling is really that high, because it's really not about skill if you want to get a higher score. It's more so about patience. It's like, how much do you want to dedicate to the level in order to get that score?
Yeah,
and
also knowing
the
that
ceiling is the skill ceiling's memorizing the maps so you get an A rank.
Yeah, exactly. If once you know
well,
the
why
level,
would I want
you know
to do
inside
that?
out.
Why would I want to do that if like playing it in a base level is so shallow? Like, why would I want to get better and like memorize the maps? Because I'm already not liking this, because it's not, there's nothing interesting here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll go back to like my Arkham comparison, because I mastered Arkham, right? It's like, I memorized the shit out of the levels in stealth, right? I know all the corridors, the ins and outs. I know like the secret little passageways and shit to get to places or whatever. The reason I did that is because I had fun first. It's like, once again, why would I bother learning these fucking maps if I'm not having fun? And if you don't know the maps, you're fucking lost. You're just running around hoping you find the damn like emerald and shit.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, just another factor to like why this is not very engaging and why, especially the mech stages are very limiting, is the fact that if you actually want to move around in the level, obviously you can move front, back, left, right, whatever. But that's just basic, right? If you want to actually do some platforming or actually do something more engaging with the controls, for the most part, you just have to jump and like fly around. But the problem is that your jump is like so low that you can actually barely move around with the jump, and because of that, you don't have a whole lot of distance you can actually go by floating around after the jump. In which case, that just makes it, again, like less engaging. Because you have so much limitations in maneuverability, then you have so much limitations in platforming and obstacles. And I think the most they've done to actually give more layers or more depth to the obstacles would be the space stages with Eggman and Tails. And sure, those are like better. Those are the best stages for those characters. But at the same time, we still had a bunch of stages that basically feel the same, where you're doing the same thing, pushing a button over and over again, locking onto targets over and over again, doing the same thing, and then you just running around the stage, jumping around some platforms or obstacles or whatever. And it ultimately doesn't like make the experience very distinguishing between the levels. It just feels like the same thing over and over again.
I'll simply say this too: if the game didn't have a ranking system, then like a lot of these arguments would just easily become null and void. Like there's just not an argument anymore. Like if there's no reason to get, there's no way to get an A rank in these games, why would we bother doing any of this anyways? Like memorizing the maps as knuckle stages, or like doing like crazy like lock-on shot shit as like Tails or whatever. Why would I do that if there's no ranking system? Which is like a thing about the game. The game is really heavily reliant on its ranking system. If there was no ranking system, the game would be really fucking unengaging because there's no reason to like get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if the game didn't have the kind of jank that made me die all the time, I think the game, in terms of how funny it would be like an hour to complete the whole thing, and it wouldn't be like the most engaging or fun hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing that is pretty bothersome with the mech stages is that, well, this kind of applies as a whole, but like if there's enemies that you have to deal with like off screen and you can't see where they're shooting because the camera's messing with you, that's just a whole nother problem. In fact, even though the space ones are like the better ones, I think a significant issue for me with the Tails one is that, and obviously this more so applies when you don't know the level and you haven't memorized it, but there's a part where you have to like jump down a really high height just to get to platforms like at the bottom. And there's a few things to account for. One, you're not allowed to look down in these games, both for the hunting stages and the mech stages. Like you can't look down, which I think is problematic for both especially both of these styles of gameplay. I just think that's ridiculous. You can't look down, you can't look up, and you kind of have to just guess. Like, if the game wants you to go down a really deep distance, you have to just trust the game. I don't want to trust the game. I don't trust this game. That's the problem. But at times it requires us as the players to just trust them that they're not gonna kill us for no reason. And actually, honestly, there's another example of this that really bothers me, but we've talked about the gravity stage, right? Crazy Gadget. So, I don't know if you guys know this, but if you attempt, there's one section of the stage where you get to choose which arrow you activate, whether it's right, left, or the bottom one. Now, if you're playing for the first time, you have no clue what any of those are going to do, and I actually was curious to test this. If you do the bottom arrow that, points downwards, it kills you no matter what if you follow that path. You're just dead. Which is like, okay, I don't know how I was supposed to know that, but thanks. And each and every time I just do the right arrow. I don't know if the left arrow kills you either. If it does, that'll definitely be a problem. But yeah, it's just, I think just a general issue with this game is that it demands you to trust them, but then it's shown that you can't trust the game, so it's a complication there.
I think the bottom arrow, it's weird because like it's supposed to be that you can land on the railing a little faster to get to the next point of the level, but the problem is like you're not gonna fucking even know that.
Yeah.
It's just stupid. It's like I don't understand like why they made it this way.
Yeah, exactly. It's so weird. And yeah, like with the mech stages, I think at times they also obscure the certain obstacles, or not obstacles, certain platforms you need to get to in order to succeed with the level. I would have to pull some more examples, which I'll definitely try to do for the video. But there just seems to be times where they just don't do a good job of allowing the player to understand where they are, and that's largely because of the camera. Basically, they can barely tell what they're about to deal with because the important information gets obscured for whatever reason. But yeah, anyone else got any thoughts about the mech stages?
The bosses, what the hell is even the point?
Yeah, honestly.
What I feel like I was doing them wrong because nothing happened. You just like run in a circle and then shoot. What was the point?
Bosses are stupid. The bosses in general are really fucking bad. The Sonic versus Shadow ones are embarrassing. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
just no
I in the
rhyme or
first one
reason.
against the and just kept spamming the same button and he just died
Yeah.
Literally.
on my first time fighting him, and I was like, oh, okay.
And we talk about
Then that-
replayability, right? If you replay that boss stage, you can literally just drop attack over and over again. What can he do?
Yeah, nothing. Which I was so disappointed because, like, no matter what, that was the thing I was looking forward to was like Sonic versus Shadow, because that's kind of like, you know, the big thing that
It's
everyone
the
enjoys
ultimate
about Sonic
rivalry.
Adventure 2. Yeah, and it's so when the actual boss was pressing the same button like 20 times, and then he just fucking dies. It's like, great, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like the first one, again, like the big problem with the first Shadow boss is that it's way too simplistic. It's not really, there's no depth to the gameplay at all. It's just, you just have to spam over and over again. There's not much challenge there. There's not much different you have to do. There's less, you don't really have to strategize in order to beat him. It doesn't really take strategy, it more so takes the patience after, yeah, and luck as well.
Because if you fight the bosses, there's just like a chance that they're just gonna refuse to take hits, and there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
Like you can do anything. You can wait till they attack and attack after. You can like try and counter attack them. You can you could just blatantly attack them. Whatever. They'll just sometimes just block it no matter what, and then it's like, there's nothing you can do. You just gotta hope they finally decide to die.
Homing attacking actually isn't that good for the Shadow boss.
Okay.
Did you play it?
Nothing
Dude,
is
it's
good for
literally
the-
all I did. I just spammed the homing attack button
Yeah,
over
you
and
just
over.
Well, here's the problem.
He couldn't move. If you trap him against the wall and homing attack him, he can't move, and he just sits there until he dies.
Well, that's the thing. It's just nothing works against Shadow. It's just luck. Nothing's effective against him. You just gotta hope one of your attacks land. Sometimes you either like spin dash or you like fucking homing attack, and you just hope he eventually takes the hit.
Yeah, and
Crazy
I think,
how
like,
most of the SA2 elements are done a lot better in Generations. Also,
They are.
high P respect.
No, yeah,
Sonic Generations, I think, is a great game,
it is a great game. It's way better
and
than this.
it's so much better. Yeah.
I think a good comparison amongst the two, because obviously the first one is just like a fight between Sonic and Shadow, and I don't think those can really work as an engaging boss fight, because if they're just fighting each other, I don't think it's gonna get that much far, because even if they go for a hit, right, they're just gonna escape or move out of the way, and that's not even how they fight. They just run really fast against each other, which I think the second boss definitely got better, but even then, it's like you just have to beat him over and over, and yet, like, sure, you can't necessarily homing attack him over and over, because you could fall off the edge, but still, it's not hard to get a hit on him with a homing attack, and you have the drop dash now, so that makes it like if he wants to run under you, you just slam right onto him. It's really simple, and the biggest issue I really had with the second Shadow boss is the fact that at times Shadow would change directions, and I couldn't properly account for that if the camera is screwing me over. If the camera is obscuring things I need to see in order to actually succeed. Which, like, that's ridiculous. It's just a classic thing of the camera issue. Once again, it's not the in-game obstacles in the game that are, troubling me. It's not the built-in design elements. It's the fact that the camera is not serving its purpose, which is not an organic way to challenge the player.
No.
And yeah, like that boss, just again annoying. It's really annoying how I'm trying to lightspeed dash the rings, but then it somersaults me at random. That's just annoying
It's
to deal
irritating.
with.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't put it on another button.
Yep. And
It's just incompetent as fuck.
And yeah, just to compare it to Sonic Generations real quick, right? What I think they did that was better was take advantage of the fact that both Sonic and Shadow are fast, and they would obviously go against each other. They're trying to reach the Eclipse Cannon. That's the whole point of this race. So I think making it a race is way better. I think what they should have done was similar to what Generations did, where you're racing for something, but you can still attack each other. You can still hit each other. But when you do that, that's not gonna... They don't have a health bar. It doesn't make you kill them or anything. It's just... They're just gonna keep running faster and faster every time you attack them, which I think is way better. In Generations, you have to collect 2 or 3, depending on if you're playing hard mode or medium or regular mode. If you are... whichever mode you're playing, you just have to reach the power things that give you the power-up that allow you to win the battle. And, I think that's way better. You have more incentive to utilize speed. It's actually more engaging when you have to race for these rewards you have to race to win. And, sure, you can still attack each other, and, that's fine. But that's not the core of it, and you can't just spam it. There's a degree of strategy and skill for this. What is
Crickets.
this? Yeah, I did play the game. Sometimes rolling is better since if you just spam the homing attack, it doesn't attack him because he's in a shield state. No, that's what I mean. If he's in a shield state, you just have to hit it again, eventually till he gives up. Which I don't.
Yeah, there's no breaking through his shield or anything. You just sit there and you wait until he fucking stops blocking everything. It's so annoying.
Yeah, that's not really effective. Where it's like you basically get to punch something over and over again, and you win when they just give up and stop blocking. That's not really strategy. Was that a Sonic Rivals reference? Race to win. Well, I haven't played Sonic Rivals, but I think it's just, again, it's just way better when you're having them race each other. And this is another thing that I have a problem with in terms of those bosses. It's that when you're trying to race, or, well, not race, well, you get what I mean, right? When you're trying to compete with Shadow, every single time, you would not keep up with him, it cuts away and just shows him doing a power-up. So that way, it freezes your game, or maybe it doesn't, maybe it does, I can't tell, and I don't trust the game, but it basically takes you away from your character. You can't look at your character anymore. You have to look at some random thing right before he does a power-up, and then once you cut back to your character, you're like, oh, so this is where I was before the game just distracted me, and now you have to react on the spot. That's just ridiculous right there. If you want to indicate that the player is about to be attacked by something, you can do this with a sound cue, you can do this with a visual cue, something of that nature, but they don't do either. They just cut away just to show some mini cutscene they made that lasts about a second. Which, again, that's not really engaging, and they do the same thing with the Rouge boss at the end, where it just cuts away to Rouge. And I think they do the same thing with the Eggman boss, where, again, it just cuts away to them doing something. And the thing is that these bosses are copied and pasted amongst the different characters, which I think it just adds on to how repetitive it is, and how, again, the boss fights are just not engaging. They're already weak in terms of design, but then you have to play them again in the different side of the story. And I think what's especially lame about it with Sonic and Shadow is that obviously both of them have discovered Chaos Control. That could be a cool mechanic, but, that's just not a thing. But even setting that aside, Shadow has the Chaos Spears, for sure, but it's that's really as far as it goes in terms of going against Shadow. it doesn't feel all that much different. And if you play a Shadow, you can't actually use the Chaos Spears, which would be interesting if you had a different way to actually go in combat. With Sonic, he has like a Sonic Wind thing in that boss if you play against Sonic. And it's like, again, you don't get to do that as Sonic. You don't get, like...
Soda drinker.
I don't know, you barely get to embody the differences between the two, which I think definitely takes away from the experience. Eggman's second boss for Tails is actually kind of better, but it's also a bit rage bait. Honestly, I don't think it's all that much different.
I didn't even notice they were different. I completed them before I saw any difference.
The only difference is that you can, I think, like, there's this thing in the middle where you have to trap him sometimes just to, like, blow him up. But still, it's just, I don't think these small changes really justify dedicating the whole boss battle to it. In fact, I think a lot of these boss battles could have been cut, and maybe the focus could have been on improving the others.
Yeah, I agree.
I think a lot of the game could have been cut.
Yeah.
I think the entire game should have been cut.
The entire game.
Just cut the entire game.
Like,
well,
the
genuinely,
whole
I think the
doing
game
of
would have
different...
been
Okay.
tolerable if they got rid of the Tails and Knuckles stuff. They just focused it on speed levels. And, like, yeah, that's kind of it. You just kind of make more levels like that, improve the level design a little bit.
Yeah.
That's all I feel like they should have done. Because, like, I still generally like the speed stages. They're still fun. They're not the best, but they're still, like, good. They're still good levels. They're still, like, you know, fine to play. The problem is that there's not enough of them. It feels like you're mostly doing the other stupid shit you don't want to be doing in the game.
Because you are.
Yeah, it's fucking awful.
Yeah, I think they could have cut those things and actually did, you know, a proper, like, I don't know, even if it's barely any more Sonic levels, if they made the Shadow levels different and just focused on Sonic and Shadow levels, that would have been a much more
It's fucking
enjoyable game for me.
stupid that Shadow doesn't have anything to he doesn't have like the bounce bracelet that Sonic has, and there's nothing to accommodate. Shadow's just a shittier Sonic in the game. It's so weird.
Which is
For-
weird.
for a
'cause
game-
he's
do
in
that.
life form.
For a game that's essentially about him, he barely has like any. He only has like what, 2 levels in the
Fucking
entire
4
game?
levels.
Yeah, like
4
that shit's
levels.
whack.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, like, and which is funny because I think Eggman either gets I think he also gets 4 or 5, and Rouge has more. I know that for a fact. Rouge has more,
Ugh.
which
Yeah.
I don't get.
Treasure hunting.
And yeah, I guess we can
God,
talk
what
about
were
the
they
treasure
smoking
hunting
with
now.
those treasure hunting levels?
The treasure hunting.
We got.
levels
I
are
think
really
it's.
bad.
I think it's you, SK, who pointed out, because I remember getting so mad at the water level with Knuckles, and I was like, dude, this
Hate that
level
level.
was impossible, and it was like it was only after dying and then it changing the locations of where the emerald pieces were, which in itself is just such a piss take, but whatever. And then I was like, I couldn't get through these parts. I didn't know what I was doing wrong.
There's
And
so
you were
many
like, yeah,
times.
if you miss the power up that makes you breathe underwater, then you're never gonna get it. I was like, oh, great.
There's so
Which is
many.
needed for
There's
the
so many
final
times.
stage.
Yeah.
There are so many times where I'm like trying to look for one of the emerald pieces, and it says I'm right there, but then I can't get it. I'm digging and digging and digging, and there's nothing there, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? And I feel like the game is glitched, and it's in an attainable location or something.
Which is
The game feels
largely
like it has,
because,
like, no
that's the
sense.
case.
The game, it feels like it has like no sense of direction, so half of the time you don't even know what the fuck to do or
well,
where
it
to
would
go.
help if like the camera was more, well, one, better controlled, but two, you had like more, you had more options with the camera.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, yeah, especially with the treasure hunting stages, the fact that you can't look up and down, especially when like the levels are great in terms of altitude, and in fact they're probably the most in terms of altitude, that's just a big problem for them.
Yeah,
Oh
at
my
least
God,
the treasure
okay.
hunting stages in Adventure 1 were easy. Like, at least, like, you could always go to the hint and it'll give you the literal direction. And I know that's not good either, but at least it's, like, not fucking annoying. I could just like do that and get through them.
It's more tolerable.
Tolerable, yeah.
Mm.
I'm glad they just never did that again in any other Sonic game.
Yeah,
At least
I
that was a full
could
stage.
not fucking. And the hints, I mean, dude, like the game has no draw distance, and yeah, I don't mind that because it's an old game. It shouldn't have any draw distance. But don't give me a hint about, oh, look at this thing, and then you'll find the next emerald piece, and it's like, dude, I can't see anything. You can't see anything that it's giving you hints about. You have to just run around the level until you come across whatever it's talking
Well, the
about.
hints assume you know the map. You know the
Yeah.
whole map.
Mhm.
So they're just useless unless you like study the whole fucking map while
Which
you're
isn't
lost.
engaging to do.
Well, it's annoying and time consuming and not what I'm here for. So it's just really irritating.
Oh, also, separate issue that kind of involves all of the levels. Maybe it's just the PC port, but the way the enemies' sound effects work with their like annoying beeps and stuff, because all the enemies are like whatever the fuck, right? That's not based on your distance to the enemy. It's based on whether or not they're loaded in. And if you're running a really good PC, it lets you load in enemies much further away. So I genuinely had levels where my PC had already loaded the whole level, so I was just permanently hearing enemy noises the entire time.
Damn. I also think that the hunting stages in at least the first game, they had more substance to it, because at least in those games it kind of felt like platforming sections where you kind of have to like get through a level but also collect those things on the way, which I actually think would have been way better if this was more what it was like. You have like a Sonic kind of stage, but you had to collect the emeralds along the way. For example, right? Because you can play Sonic stages as Knuckles in the classic games, but imagine like if there's collectibles where you need to find them to progress in order to win, where you just have to find, you know, the emerald piece here, here, and here. That would be way better, but, you know, obviously we would have that in 3D. And I think Sonic Adventure 1 was closest to that, because at least there was like a good portion of enemies that you had to get through. There was more platforming involved in it. With Sonic Adventure 2, it really felt like the same thing over and over again, where you just, across a big map, you have to just jump, glide, reach places, climb, and then try to locate these things on your radar. Basically explore the whole map, learn the map, and just find these indicators of the emerald pieces, and that's just not engaging. And it's the most time-consuming levels.
Fuck those levels.
Yeah. And it's just like, I don't think it really does much to justify the amount of time you're spending just looking for these emerald pieces.
Also, didn't they, that Knuckles boss, isn't it literally called King Boo, or am I bugging?
I think so, yeah.
King Boom Boo.
Yeah, something like that. Which I guess is probably one of the better bosses.
Yeah, I was gonna say that and the Golem, those were the two bosses that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah, those were like the bosses that were like okay.
Exactly, yeah. Because, like, at least with them, there's more strategy involved. There's more platforming involved for Sonic. Yeah, it's just, you kind of have to... The enemy AI is done quite well. So it's like... It's you know, obviously you can predict it to some degree, but it's not, like, super predictable. There's still a reasonable amount of challenge in it.
Yeah, without being stupid.
Yep.
I hated the Rouge boss. That boss is fucking awful. Like,
That
it's
was
hard to even
terrible.
find where she is sometimes.
I didn't really know what was going on there.
Well, it's like you spam the attack, and it's just like, okay, that's not very difficult to do. Just spamming an attack over and over again. Because that's basically what I did. And, like, okay, sometimes I lose rings for sure, but, like, I don't really care. I'm just here for the attack. And yeah, that would be annoying when I'm trying to locate Rouge, and then all of a sudden it cuts to some 1-second cutscene just telling you that Rouge is about to do an attack, which we don't need. We just need an audio or visual cue while we're still in the game. It doesn't need to cut away from our gameplay.
Yeah, I hate that shit. That shit's so fucking annoying.
Yeah.
It actually will more likely get me hit than not hit, because it, like, takes away control for a second.
Exactly. It's like, I don't understand the process behind that.
Stupidity.
But yeah, like, the boss stages are generally a mess. Especially since, like, yeah, we talk about copy-paste stuff. It's not just for, like, you know, Sonic and Shadow having copy-pasted bosses, but also Rouge has a copy-pasted boss where you fight the first gun drone as Shadow, but then you fight it again, like literally the same thing again as Rouge, and the gameplay style is not all that much different. In fact, it's even a little bit more simple, because all you have to do is go to the wall, and it literally cannot shoot you. No matter what you do, it will not shoot you. If you just stay on the wall, it will always shoot at the same ground. It just has this programmed pattern to shoot at the same parts of the ground, in which case, like, how is this a challenge? You know where it's going to shoot every single time. There's no strategy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I definitely didn't like the camera in, like, those gun robot stages as well. It was way too close to Sonic and Shadow. Hold up. I gotta fix something. I don't know what just happened. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Show me that right now. There we go.
Thank you, PJ.
Fixed.
You dumb piece of shit.
No, I didn't. Show me that right now.
I didn't think it'd be taken that seriously.
Oh yeah, we forgot to ask you, Comic Legend. What did you think of this game as a whole? Because we all announced that at the beginning.
I think, like, the game's like a 5 or a 6. If that's what you're asking for, like a rating.
Yeah, or just general thoughts as well.
I think what I would say is, like, I like the potential of the game. I like the ideas it brings, especially for the story. I like the idea of the stages. I just wish, like, you know, they were, like, properly ironed out the shit that doesn't work in this game. Honestly, would like a remake of this game where they, like, you know, not, like, get rid of, like, the treasure hunts or whatever, but at least just fixes them so they're fun and shit.
Yo, real quick, I just wanted to stop by and say that I have to go. I'm still gonna be in the chat and, like, watch the stream, but for now I gotta step out.
All right.
Hope you guys have a good stream, and I'll see you.
Goodbye,
talk to you guys
Penis
later.
Jack.
All right. See you later.
See you later.
See you.
All right.
But yeah, like, honestly, if there was, like, a remake of the game, and they like, somewhat of a remake, more like a reimagining, and they, like, make the stages way more open-ended and improved, kind of like what they've been doing in the Generations and Shadow Generations and shit. More levels similar to that, with the adventure controls, or, like, you know, physics. They made the treasure hunting stages fun. Just, like, do, like, little things to make them actually kind of cool and engaging or whatever. And, like, you know, same as for the mech stages. I think, like, the game would be, like, really cool. But, like, you know, that's not the game we have.
Yeah, it's especially with, like, because I think a good comparison would be the Bio-Lizard boss in Shadow Generations versus in Sonic Adventure 2. Because
It's so fucking annoying. I hate that boss.
it was jank. It was total jank.
It
in the
pissed
final
me off.
story.
Especially, like, when you're Super Sonic and Shadow. That thing was awful. Like, there's so many times where I hit the fucking boil point, and then it doesn't count as a hit, and then I go flying back.
Yeah, that shit was annoying.
That was bad. That was genuinely one of the worst like bosses I've played in a while. I fucking hate the Biolizard.
Yeah. And like, yeah, the final hazard definitely has some issues of its own as well. I think
Both
like,
are shit. I hate both of them.
yeah, the final hazard, I guess the main problem I had with it is that, well, one, I don't really like how Supersonic controls all of that much, right? Because when you're trying to do, like, the boosting thing, it, like, boosts, like, to the side or whatever, which I found a little weird, but, you know, whatever. And then, when you have to deal with the lasers, I kind of, like, don't even know, like, what particularly is the strategy to do that, and maybe I need to play it again just to, like, be sure on this. But it seems more like it's a little bit based in luck, in terms of moving out of the way of the laser. Like, I'm just not sure what
You
strategy
can be
it
really
would be.
unlucky. You can get if you get hit by the lasers, there's like a chance they'll stun lock you and keep hitting you with the lasers before you can fucking move.
Yeah, that can be annoying.
It's really shit. I hate those bosses.
Yeah.
And it's like, I understand that this game is old and shit, and like that could explain some of the stuff, but when I played Adventure 1, like these problems weren't as prevalent as from what I remember. Like, firstly, you can like just go and play 10 of the Sonic stages. They're fairly open from what I remember and really well made. They had a lot of fun platforming and shit to them.
Yeah.
The other characters weren't as bad, honestly, because like even though like Tails isn't like perfect, at least like Tails, you're like going through like a stage. It's not a mech thing.
Yeah. He's fun to move with, which, you know, that makes it actually really annoying, because every time you do a mech stage and then you go to like the Chow Garden, it allows you to play as Tails, but like just as Tails, just flying around, jumping around. I'm like, wow, I would have liked to do this.
Yeah, do the thing that Tails is known to do in gameplay. Yeah, wild. It's really stupid.
Yeah.
If the other gameplay styles were fun, I would accept it, but like, nah. They're like, the best you can say about them is that they're functional. Like, they do technically work.
Yeah, it's not like 06 where it's like literally doesn't work.
Yeah, that's like the only thing you could really say about them, but they're extremely shallow, barely any engaging elements to them. It's not even like, it doesn't even fit the appeal of a Sonic game.
I feel like Project
It's not
06
good.
is proof that 06 has better ideas and designs.
I think PO6 is the best way to do alternate playable characters, where they're there for a small little section and it's a breeze and you go back to the main point, which is Sonic.
Yeah, and it fits really well into the section as well.
The only major difference is when you play as Silver, but Silver is like, it's still a platformer.
Yep.
It's still a physics-based platformer, it's just not focused on speed with its physics-based platforming. So it's still like somewhat like Sonic coded in a way. It still kind of feels like you're playing a Sonic game.
Yeah. Another thing, because I think it was talked about how like the cutscenes are really jank as well, because like people are just like talking over each other. The audio balancing is bad. I think we've talked about that. I've been told that this is largely a PC thing, and that like I should play like the original through an emulator, through like a GameCube emulator. And I tried that, and it didn't really do much to fix
Dreamcast
it.
emulator.
I played the one on Dolphin just to, you know, prepare for this.
Yeah, that's GameCube.
Yeah, I played the GameCube one, and I was just like, okay, so the sound mixing isn't much improved, and I still think they're just talking over each other at times.
We gotta play the Dreamcast version, is what I was told.
Isn't that like, so is there still like a Dreamcast emulator out there?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
As far as I don't know, I know you can mod Adventure 2 to be like the Dreamcast version, so there's that.
Yeah, there is it's called Redream, is the main emulator.
Okay. Wow, did you know if you remake a game to fix all its issues, the game becomes good? What is this? You guys are glazing 06 so hard. Well, no, we're not glazing 06. We're
Wait.
acknowledging-
The reason I said that is because I said I personally want a remake kind of thing. That's not me. That's not me like saying like did you know it would be better? Like what the fuck was that?
Well, also, it's like, with Project 06, like, yeah, we're saying Project 06 should be what they strive for. That should be the standard.
I was more so just talking about how they do playable characters because it fixes it from both the adventure games.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's it's not fucking. It's not like 10 campaigns or whatever kind of bullshit. It's only 3 campaigns. 2 of them are, basically speed stages. One of them is like more physics based, like force shit. And then they stop bugging you. They don't tell me to play 10 of them like in Adventure 1. And I'm not forced to play levels with like shit I don't want to do. At worst, a treasure hunting stage is a small, quick thing in like a level or 2. That's overall speed stage in Project 06. Like, that's just better. That's just how you should do it, so you don't interfere with the shit people are here for. Which is like fast-paced, high-intensity platforming. As Sonic.
Yep. The playable characters in Project 06 don't have different playstyles, just different moveset.
That's not fully true. Some of them do have different playstyles.
Yeah, well, first of all, Silver, that is a completely different playstyle than Sonic and Shadow. Sonic and Shadow. Sure,
Omega is basically a mech stage. If you play as Omega, it's essentially a mech stage, but with more depth because he has different ways of attacking enemies.
Yeah, different ways of attacking, different ways of traversing the level because we have way more.
He has melee. He has like a turret mode. He has like different ranged options. He has like lock-on missiles and stuff. And it's like I would say the combat there isn't super duper hard either, or like super engaging. But at least you could do more than just spam do 2 attacks.
I mean, it's indisputably indisputably has more depth. So I wouldn't like. I mean, even the original.
There are still
Omega,
treasure hunting stages in PO6. They're just not fucking boring and awful. It's just really simple. If you do there's like a few Rouge levels where you're like finding keys or something. So that's just wrong. There are other playstyles.
Yeah, and even then, like with Blaze, for example, sure, you have to like speed through the stages because Blaze moves fast. You don't have in that case the moveset kind of changes the style.
Also, even if they didn't, what's wrong with that? Why can't why can't all the characters be focused on speed and platforming? Isn't that the point of these games? Isn't that like the appeal of a Sonic game? Why is that a problem?
Yeah.
Just if they're that's what they were in the 2D games, as far as I can tell. You play as a different character, and it's essentially it's just Sonic with a different ability or 2. Knuckles is Sonic that can glide and climb. Yeah. Tails is Sonic that can fly. That's how the game is. What was wrong with that?
P06 playstyles aren't as deep as Sonic Adventure 2 playstyles. Qualify that.
What's so deep about the ones in Sonic Adventure 2?
Yeah, because we've talked about how it doesn't have much depth at all. Whereas Project 06, I mean, even in the Sonic stages, you have way more paths and options in order to traverse the level. Like Kingdom Valley, for example, there's a whole cave section that you can go to. Versus taking What's so deep about a Tails level where, once again, if you don't care about getting A rank, you could just spam attack, and then, most of the challenge is done. Yeah, whereas with Tails in Project 06, one, you actually get to fly around, and you have to, account for the fact that, there's enemies you have to deal with in the air, which is interesting. You have to actually reach other platforms. It's a different way of traversing the platforms, and you have a lot of maneuverability that isn't given to you.
Tails is slower,
Sonic
but he can
2.
fly.
Yeah.
And that makes you consider different decision making. Instead of like trying to run through it at like Sonic, you were gonna, try and fly past the level and like, think of like shortcuts with your flying ability. It's not much, but like it's short. You're not. There's not a whole stage dedicated to fucking Tails, so it's fine.
This guy just said, if you don't care about getting good at the game, then there's no depth, like trying to quote us. So, I don't know where you got that from, but the whole point we're making is that if you don't care about getting good at the game, and that means they haven't given you an incentive.
Yeah, wait a second. But like in most games, that isn't Sonic. In most games, if you don't care about getting good at the game, you can't beat the game. You will die, and you can't progress.
Yeah.
Whereas
that's the point we're making.
You can rush through a stage and not be good at the game. You can be skillless at the game.
If I'm playing as Tails and I'm
need to play Sonic Unleashed.
If I'm playing Tails and I'm just mashing shoot and doing basic platforming, and I don't care that doesn't give me an A rank, but I'm still beating the game, that's the game not teaching me how to be good at it. So why should I bother? There's no consequence to not being good at the game. That's bad game design.
Like, yeah, if you don't go for A ranks, no wonder you think the playstyles aren't good. Okay, so the playstyles...
I did go for A ranks. I went for A ranks. I A ranked every speed stage.
That's one thing, right? And two, even if you don't go for A ranks, right? What else would we be going for? Because I think the goal would be finish the stage as quick as possible, especially if you're not enjoying it.
Yeah, not everyone cares about a ranking system. There's going to be players that don't care. Yeah, there's going to be players that don't care about their rank and they just care about getting through the level, especially on their first playthrough. Because like they don't when you're first playing a game, you're not sure if you like it or not, enough to like dedicate getting like the highest rank of like the stage.
I've seen y'all play the game. You get E ranks all the time, dude. I have A ranks on all the Sonic stages. And I can tell you, they still have a bunch of problems. And
but like, of course you're gonna have E ranks, because the game doesn't reward a player for being good at the level for their first time. The game has very little content.
It's not based on time.
The game does not have a lot of content, and it's like, oh, yeah, you've got an E, but that's because you need to replay the level 2 or 3 more times. And it's like, what if I don't want to
engage? If you don't go for A ranks, then you're not getting the full depth. Simple as that. Okay, the problem is that nobody wants to get to engage with whatever they have because it's not a lot.
Like, well, no. Here's the real problem:
is just repeatedly getting higher.
No one's explaining. Hang on a second. No one's explaining the depth though. Nobody's like telling us what's so deep if we get an A rank.
Yeah,
because I've seen A rank playthrough. I've seen A rank runs of like Knuckles, Tails, treasure hunting mech levels. I've seen the A ranks of those. I've seen speed runs of A ranks on those. That it's not deeper. At most, it's either people find exploits to get the level done faster. They literally cheat by like abusing the save file, so they don't have to find the fucking emeralds as Knuckles.
Because
to me, it would be like, imagine if there was a fucking like racing game. Let's say like a fucking Mario Kart, and it had 6 tracks in it, right? That was it. The whole game was 6 tracks, and they were all circuits. They were all just round circuits. And then you go, oh, but you haven't got the advanced time trial gold medal in every one of them. You need to keep playing those levels until you got a gold medal in every one of them. That's where the fun is.
Wait, hold on. Like, this person just said the depth is using Sonic's momentum and shortcuts. That's not depth.
You have an 8 profile picture. You don't know depth.
Wait. But no one's disagreeing that the speed stages have depth.
Yeah, well, 1, that's not the depth, and 2, we do agree that the Sonic stages have depth. Not what you're describing.
Yeah, Sonic stages are still inherently deep because you have to balance like momentum and like the shortcuts. Like, sure, that's fine. We're not talking about Sonic.
More movesets
We're talking about the other things.
And there's more maneuverability you have. It's not like the same repetitive thing. With Tails, like you haven't countered this. You haven't countered the fact that you can very easily pass a stage by just spamming the button, the attack button, and then boom, the enemies are dead immediately. That is most of it. You just have to move around.
You made a
also,
combat...
I'm not straw manning level design. I'm just saying, imagine if Mario Kart had barely any content. And people's justification was keep playing it until you get a fast time by using different shortcuts and using different rail grinds. It's the same analogy.
Rift
But-
says, the only time I've wanted to be on the panel when discussing the shit Dude, I can add you if you want to come on and discuss it, because we're getting into it right now. Someone's trying to... I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. Tails and Eggman stages are about being proactive and autonomous. Knuckles stages
That's
about
every
math
video
knowledge
game
and-
ever. What are you talking about? That is
So-
just basic game design. That's like yes, technically you have to be good at platforming to beat those levels, but it's simplistic. It is not that engaging. You
Yeah,
can't
like, I
make a
don't-
game like if you're gonna make a game and then you have this wild, like deep fucking Sonic stuff where you're like balancing speed, shortcuts, rail grinds, and all this crazy stuff. Whatever we feel about the level design, it's like, you know, we have to master Sonic's like movement and momentum and stuff. If we go from that to, oh, you have to be good at jumping from point A to point B and shooting brain dead enemies that die in one hit, how do you like expect us to like go, yeah, I'm totally excited to play a Tails level?
Dude, are you serious
That's
right
the
now
problem.
saying I've seen your streams, you get wrecked because you didn't adapt to the level design? How can you adapt to a homing attack not homing when it's supposed to? Can you explain that?
Yeah, let's all adapt to making sure we press the same button for every single move correctly. Like, it's not intuitive. It's not adapting to level design when the level design is unintuitive.
I mean, I could
Exactly.
literally just pull up Sonic Adventure 2 right now and easily get an A rank on a stage if you want. Like, I played the game.
Also, what's up, Gaming Rift?
Hello.
Yeah, so
Hey, what's up?
hi.
I'm not getting an A rank in fucking the Tails or Knuckles levels because they're boring and I don't want
Yeah,
to waste
no
my
one-
time. But
we
I
don't
can
wanna
do it
put
in
effort
Sonic
into that.
stages.
Well, I'd also point out, I joined like late. Like, what's being discussed?
Oh, we basically
the games.
discussed like the general meat of the game, and we're kind of just well, we're mostly responding to a commenter right now, trying to defend it. And
You're not
he's
supposed to
he's
spam
claiming
homing
that
attacks, just-
this person is claiming that Sonic Adventure 2 has more depth than Project 06.
That's bullshit.
That's
Like,
insane.
I'm not even gonna entertain that argument with a response. But it's like, I'd also point out the way that, because I heard you mentioned like A ranks and shit.
Yeah.
The way that Adventure 2 handles a couple of A ranks, especially in the fucking speed stages. You guys have played Metal Harbor, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Oh my
the way.
gosh.
So the way you get the A rank in that level is when at the end of the stage you have like 15 seconds to climb to the top of this fucking like rocket and homing attack the spring at the end. But it's such like a narrow pathway and it's very easy to fall off and you also have a very short amount of time. It's like, who engineered that and thought that would be a good idea? Like, at that point, it's no longer skill, it's literally just trial and error. Like, it doesn't, the first, like, 90% of the stage doesn't matter. It's like, it's almost like a pass or fail mechanic. It's like, okay, can you get to the top of this rocket? You may get an A rank. If you can't, then you've got no chance. Like, I
That
don't
level's
consider
literally a
that-
roller coaster. It is literally like after, like if you play it enough times, it is just it's literally just a straight line. That's what it feels like.
I
Metal
gotta
Harbor
address
is really
this right
boring.
now. If you go for score attacks, you'll realize how insanely complex and free-flowing it is. Okay, so two things I want to address right
I
there.
have one for score attack.
One, please tell me, if I go for a score attacks on, let's say, Tails, that literally just means hit more enemies, okay? What is so engaging about that experience? What is so deep about that experience when you're just hitting the same button over and over again, just a little bit more
SK, we
times?
need to make
That's-
this a disagreement day, like
We
right
do.
now.
So,
do.
Like, it's
Zone
more
Body,
fun.
Two, I
trial
wanna-
and error.
I want to
Oh,
add
sorry.
real quick, right? Please tell me, what is so engaging about me just killing a few more enemies when all it takes is just one button over and over again? You compare that to the PO6 enemy types, where you can't just homing attack or whatever attack just onto them immediately. You can't just do that. It's way more complex than that.
Well, no, Zone Body as well. I also want to shut down this idea of it's not skill, it's trial and error, therefore it's skill. So an example of, like, something being trial and error is quite literally luck-based, and luck is outside of your control. And also, like, within the Sonic series specifically, something being skill-related, I would consider more like, you know in Unleashed where you can perform, like, finishes on enemies, and you have to do, like, a small
Right.
quick time event? It's like, that is very exploitable, but I would consider that more skill-based. It's like the perfect parrying in Frontiers. I'd consider that skill based. It's like what you're describing isn't skill based. What you're
Dude,
saying is,
everything-
literally
Dude,
what you're saying
Frontiers-
is the first 90% of not Pearl Harbor, I keep calling it that. The first 90% of Metal Harbor is irrelevant because
Harbor.
you essentially because you have a pass or fail mechanic. That's someone, yeah, literally someone in the community started calling the level that, and now I've
Dude, it's
started
crazy.
saying that.
It's crazy that Frontiers just has way more skill-based things than fucking Adventure 2. Like that's, I find that so fucking awesome. Like
But it's like,
yeah.
I also think that when it comes to like combat and stuff, the mech shooting stages are probably the worst. It's like I think Unleashed
Oh, they're
Werehog
garbage.
does it better. I think Frontiers does it better.
Yeah,
Oh no,
for
but
sure.
the Warehog's too slow. Man, suck my dick. You guys like fucking SA2. Suck my dick.
I'm just gonna say it right now for the Adventure 2 fans in chat. Like the Werehog is better than the mech shooting in
Oh,
every
It
it's
way.
literally
better.
is.
Like better complexity, you move faster. Like the platforming's better.
You
And
have
keep in mind,
different
Unleashed
moves
was
that
meant
can
to be
serve different
Adventure 3.
purposes.
Unleashed is the real Adventure 2.
Yeah, it's.
But I'd
it's
also point out who said that it was less complex than PO6.
Zombody.
I'm just gonna take a guess that he meant like original 06, and even then you could make
No,
an
no,
argument.
no. We specified this whole stream that we're talking about PO6. And this person acknowledged we were talking about PO6.
But it's like I also think it's really like just underwhelming the way that they do the gameplay in Adventure 2 in general. Like they they basically have clones of the characters, but they make like inferior based clones. So it's like the difference between Shadow and Sonic is Shadow is
Oh,
just
cool.
inferior.
Yeah.
Same thing with
Zombody-
Tails and Eggman. Like Tails is just a shit Eggman.
Zombody says the game from 2008 has more complex combat than the game from 2001. LMAO, what a
Yeah, I was
going
gonna
against
say,
Sonic Adventure 2. All right.
I was gonna reply to that,
Okay,
saying that it's almost
by
as if one game aged better than the other, bro. Like, what the fuck is that point?
So if a game is so what you're saying is if a game is more recent, it's better. Okay, so Sonic 06 is better than Adventure 2 because it came out after. Like, are you sticking by that reasoning?
Well, also, it's like, why is it that? Oh, well, it's 2008. Like, does it need to be 2008 to design more complexity in combat? Since when was that a thing? Yeah, 2008, you may be able to achieve more on a technical level, but that doesn't mean you can't that doesn't mean you have to have more like advanced.
I guess Devil May
technology.
Cry doesn't have complex combat, guys, because it
Yeah.
wasn't in 2008.
That's just
Dude,
so
Persona
silly.
5 doesn't have any complex fucking like storytelling or gameplay because they came out in 2015. That's crazy.
Complex doesn't equal better.
Yes, none of us is saying that. None of us is saying complex is better.
Complex doesn't
Mario
inherently equal
Sunshine is
better.
more complex than Mario 64. That doesn't make Mario Sunshine a better game. And that's not what we're arguing.
It makes Odyssey a better game.
I don't get this whole thing. 'Cause-
Complexity is like it can determine if something's better than something else, sure, but at the same time, it has to be good complexity. The thing is with like Sonic Adventure 2, it's not that it doesn't even have complexity at all. It's like it has some complexity when you're playing a Sonic and Shadow, right?
Mhm.
But the problem is the other side of the game, when you're doing the treasure hunting and shit, it's not only does it lack complexity, it's just not engaging at all.
It's simplistic
It's
to the
very
point of not
basic.
being engaging.
Yeah, it's really, really, really shallow. It is just bare bones. It's fine. The mech shooting's fine. It works. Like, it's not bad, but it's boring because it's just there's not much going on with it.
Yeah, but you said
I will
Warhog's-
point out as well, the reason why I compared the Werehog to Tails' mech is because they're both based around slow platforming and, like, you get high score by killing enemies. Like, that's why I compared the two.
But like, I actually enjoy killing the enemies because there's so many different ways I can go about it instead of just hitting the same button over and over again. The enemies are actually engaging to confront. feel like there's a big
You
difference.
guys want to set up a? You guys want to just set up a disagreement day? Because I think that'll be more engaging.
I'm down to set
Yeah, I'm
it
down
up.
for that.
Oh, bro, I want to be
I'm
there.
totally
I want to
okay
be
with
there and drink all the tears, bro.
Damn.
Yeah, let's go.
All right,
You
so
want to just go right now?
we'll head to the
It's,
server.
it's also,
Yeah, literally, let's set it up.
All right, we'll set it up.
Unless we can.
Oh my
invite
god,
people.
stop
right
saying,
now?
stop talking about mastering things. The whole point that we're discussing here is that nobody wants to master something that wasn't
like-
fun to do in the first place.
well,
That's
I'd also
our whole
point. I'd also point out as well. People have mastered the very first freaking Mario game, but even though it's the most boring, generic, by the books platformer imaginable, but it's like people have still mastered it. Does that mean it's complex?
I would say that about Mario 1. Mario 1 has fucking great level design for its time.
Well, I'm not saying that. I mean in terms of Mario's moveset. Like you run and you jump. That's it.
Oh,
If
there's
you
a little
don't,
bit
if
more
you
to
haven't
that.
got
Have you
every
seen,
shortcut
have you
down
seen
in Mario
speedruns
64,
of Have you seen speedruns of the original Mario Bros? Like
I've seen
there's a few
speedruns of it,
complex
yeah.
things you can do.
But like, I mean, Mario as a series is not ridiculously complex to begin with
You
in
know,
terms
it's
of
funny.
his moveset.
It's funny you say that because, you know, the idea of speedrunning the first Mario game is literally what inspired Sonic to be. Like, the idea of finishing fucking Mario, like the first
Well,
level of
yeah,
Mario
like-
at such a fast pace, is what
Because like,
birthed the
because
idea.
I'm using that as a point. Even like, because like, I don't even agree with what Riff said there with fucking the first Super Mario Bros. And I think that's like adds to the point. Even like games back then had some level of like engagement and depth to it already. Like if you see speedruns, like in the first Mario Bros, it's not like the craziest thing in the world, but like there's some impressive shit people do. There's like this like backwards jump
Well,
shit
that's-
that gives them
well,
like
well,
more.
that's That was
it makes them
entirely my
jump a little bit
point.
more
that-
forward and stuff.
Yeah, that was precisely my point. The idea that it's not the most complex game in the world, but people manage to make it seem complex because of all the little things you can do, because of all the time they've spent with the game. But I would also point out as well, Zonebody,
Yeah.
your comment there about, like, the whole point of Sonic is mastery through repetition, that literally applies to the whole franchise. Like, it's not a defense of Adventure 2.
I mean, you can also say that about any game. I don't think
Well, the
that
thing is-
qualifies a series being
You could
good.
say that about Dark
Any
Souls,
game.
and it has, like,
Yeah.
nothing in common with Sonic.
Well, the whole point of Dark Souls is replaying it until you can do a no-hit run, and it's like, fine. But you could say about literally any game you want, oh, there's not much to it because the whole point is replaying it over and over until you get through it so fast that it's basically no challenge. It's like,
Yeah, it's like
Cool.
the original. It's like the original Sonic games will fuck you over on your first playthrough because it's like you move so fast and there's quite a few beginners traps, especially in like the first game. But it's like eventually when you play it enough times, you can do no hit runs and it's manageable.
Yeah, like I would argue like that stuff isn't perfect either, but at least like that's fun and engaging. Like overall, like when you do a speed stage. The problem with like fucking Knuckles and like Tails is like there's no incentive to master it because in a base level it's not fun. It's not like there's nothing there that's like actually like interesting or engaging, and the level design just doesn't have enough to it. Because like even like the first Super Mario Bros, the level design is fairly creative. Like there's some underwater levels that change up how you're supposed to play. The castle levels have like these crazy like spinning like fire traps and stuff that makes you like, you know, approach it a little differently. Because, you know,
I'd
the
also-
game stays fun like throughout its whole runtime.
I'd
But then you
also
go to,
point
like,
out
something
as
like Tails' mech
Sorry.
stages, and they're all fucking samey. Besides like very minor differences, like oh, you have to shoot to open the wall in the Egyptian level or whatever. It's like, oh, okay. Does that meaningfully
like-
change how you play it? No.
I'd also point out
Anyway.
as well, like when discussing mastery, I think it's very unrealistic to expect people to master the treasure hunting stages when the Master Emerald pieces are literally random.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
what's the
yeah,
master-
obviously there's like there's a set amount of spawns, obviously, but it's like I think it's very unrealistic.
That's the
expecting
mastery.
oh
people
my
to
god,
That's the
memorize.
mastery,
dude, you
uh,
just basically agreed with everything we've said. You just said no Sonic game is fun until you get good at it.
Oh my
That's
not
the
true.
whole point we're making. Sonic
also
Adventure 2
not
is
true.
not fun
That's
until.
not true.
I mean, I don't agree
It's
with
not
it.
even fun when you get good
I don't.
at it.
I definitely don't agree with that. But Sonic Adventure 2, that is literally what we're saying. The only people that have fun with it are the people that keep on playing it until they're good at all the levels. And even then, when you replay the levels, you can skip all of the other stuff. You can skip
even
the Tail
then,
stuff. You
like-
can skip the Knuckles stuff.
I'd also
When I
point out
first
as well,
played-
even when you master it, it still doesn't come close to the shit that you can do in PO6.
Well, the thing is, like, when I first played PO6, I wasn't the best at Sonic games because I wasn't used to it. I literally died in, like, fucking Wave Ocean.
Yeah,
As
like
Sonic.
it does have
Like, I wasn't good.
it does have rough level design to start off with, but yeah, it's like the shit that you can do in that game, like especially with the gems for Sonic or like Silver's abilities, like it's crazy.
I mean, I would say generally I'm not the greatest at platformers. Like, especially, but like when I played like Super Mario Bros. For the Wii, like when I emulated that game, like I was dog shit. I was still having fun though. It's still a really fun game because like the level design, the platforming mechanics, the fun like enemy types that like have little differences to them, it kept me engaged.
The RNG
There's
of the
something
treasure
to-
hunting stages are what makes it fun. But I think that's
How is that fun?
But it's like, how is not knowing what's gonna happen fun? Like, this isn't a roguelike. Like, it's quite literally just a filler level you have to complete just to play as Sonic again. But also, like, are you gonna talk about things like the radar, like only showing one emerald piece at a time? You're gonna
That's fun,
mention
guys.
things like, you're gonna mention like Mission Hall or Prison Hall where you only have 5 minutes to collect all these emeralds with Rouge. You're gonna talk about like the hint system in Mad Space literally being in reverse, so you have to like fucking try hard just to read the hints.
Well, it's so funny. This guy is like, yeah, you guys didn't A rank the levels. I A ranked Adventure 2. At least
Well,
the
yeah,
speed
I
stages.
didn't A rank the levels because the levels were fucking boring, and I hated control. It's like even the Sonic and Shadow levels, it's like they were just decent.
Well, it's such
Like-
it's such a generic card to play. Like, did you 100% the game, or whatever? It's like, okay, I basically did for the speed stages, and like, I'm still saying the same shit. I am not bad at this game, that's for sure.
I don't think there is any game that I would defend as good where I would use any defense of, oh, are you this good at the game, though? But
Well, yeah, it's quite
I can't
literally
think
just
of
like
any.
it's quite literally just like elitist behavior. It doesn't matter. It's like there's always
Yeah.
going to be someone better and worse than you at a video game, but that doesn't make your criticisms any less valid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, you don't like Valorant? How much have you won at tournaments? Your opinion doesn't matter then.
You don't like Halo? You don't like Halo 4's campaign? Did you beat it on Legendary? It's like, why would I ever want to do that?
Bold of you to assume I want to replay that shit.
Well, it's like, it's kind of like just going like, oh, well, you don't like, Arkham City? Well, play New Game Plus. So, it's that sort of
Somebody.
thing.
Knuckles and Rouge have such movement speed, RNG doesn't matter, it becomes more about spatial awareness and map knowledge. Okay, so the level design punishes new players then, because they don't know shit about the levels.
Here's the thing. When I hear that stuff, I'm like, that is generic as fuck. That is very basic shit for these kind of games. It's like, okay, so a treasure hunting game. What does everyone need to be good at in a treasure hunting game? Knowing the level design, knowing the map, knowing like where the secrets could be, learning
Yeah, that's
like
all basic.
you know,
That's all bare bones.
learning. Yeah, like it's the same thing with the Tails level. Remember what he said? That you just have to be like, what was it again? Like autonomous.
Autonomous.
and shit. It was
I
some
mean-
dumb shit. It's
Well, it
literally
also-
just you have to play the game to be good at it with Tails level. It's just you gotta know that sometimes you have to press the jump button to get to the other side, and then you gotta make sure you press the attack button when you see bad guys. Whoa, see? It's engaging. It's like, what the fuck is this shit?
Liam, you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of... No, guys, this story is good. It has the theme of depression. This character has the theme of depression.
It does remind me of that shit. It's just,
Uh,
you have to
Yeah,
actually do
I was
something to
depressed
beat the
playing it.
game. It's like, wow, I know that.
Christopher,
Every-
I'm gonna
brain
be
cell.
honest. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't like Arkham City initially, but that's because I was so shit at the Arkham series starting out.
Every Sonic game level design punishes new players. That's the core of the series. No, okay, so you didn't listen to what he
Wait,
said.
stop. I'm not punished in the Knuckles levels. I'm not getting punished when I'm playing Tails' levels. I'm beating them fairly quickly. I'm even getting A ranks in a few of them without even trying. The problem isn't that they're punishing me. The problem is that it's boring and not engaging.
Mhm.
I'm not being punished. I'm beating the levels. Even like the Knuckles levels, it's like it tests my patience, but I'm not getting punished or anything.
You're getting punished.
Like I'm
Well, it's
still
like-
going through them fine.
Well, it's like a level that I would say I think as well, saying that it punishes you is being pretty like generous, because it's like a level that I would say punishes new players are like the mock speed sections in Sonic 06. It's like, okay, if you jump at the wrong time, the game just kills you because it locks your movement. You can't like control your jump midair. You're basically fucked if you like crash into almost anything. And obviously there's bottomless pits everywhere. It's like, that is an example of the game punishing you for doing something wrong. But it's like, how are you being punished in the like treasure hunting stages? It's like, you have no idea where anything is. You're basically running around in an empty level because there's like barely any enemies either. Like, how is that being punished? It's like, yeah, the game's punishing me because I could have chosen to play a better game. It's like, I don't, like, how is that
the whole point
good,
of punishing is to make you make a different decision. And there was not one time I died in Sonic Adventure 2 where I felt I made the wrong decision. It was the controls not doing what I wanted. Or it was the controls being unintuitive. That's not punishing you to make the game more engaging and make you better at it. That's punishing you for the sake of punishing you because they need you to play their jank.
Because the game wasn't properly wrinkled out, so you can like feel the jank fully.
Kronos says, y'all talking about mid when you could be watching the new Peak Predator movie. Interesting.
Oh, is he in it?
All right. Well, yeah, we can move to the Disagreement Day server. We'll hop in that VC, and yeah, we'll proceed from there.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Right.
Let's go.
Alrighty. Give me a moment to. Okay. I switched the scenes and then, so it should be altering some stuff. Oh yeah, Gaming Rift will have to join in the weight room. There we go. Now we got it rolling. All right, just had to migrate. Yeah, I'll give Gaming Rift Mud permission, and I think he should be able to join it at that point.
SA2 haters always blame the controls rather than their own skill and knowledge of the game's mechanics. Oh my god, so dumb. Okay, so how do you explain that sometimes when you try and do a light speed dash, he'll just somersault? How is that the skill of the player, not just the fucking game, you know, having too many actions on one button that contradict each other?
Yeah, wait, I'm sorry. We're blaming the controls because it doesn't allow the player to be precise about what they want to do. That is a problem.
Yeah, it's like, imagine, like, to use the Arkham games, for example, it's like, imagine instead of having, like, a wheel of gadgets, it's a case of, oh, it's basically just luck of the draw. You press, like, the left trigger and you just get a random gadget.
Yeah,
well,
how is that skill?
One of the things
That's luck.
One of the things I'll say about the Arkham games that you can criticize control-wise is, in Arkham City, it is kind of bad that sometimes if there's too many actions if you do R2 and X, because like that could either mean he'll like he'll climb down a railing, right? He'll go down a grate, or he'll corner cover, and it's sometimes hard to do that on the spot. Like it's hard to be precise on that. So like sometimes if like, oh, you're in a stealth section and you're like, go in the grate, and then he climbs over the railing and he gets shot and you take damage, that's not your fault. That's the game having too many fucking actions on one button. Like that's something you can criticize. Something Arkham Knight even fixes, because it goes R2 circle to go into the grates, and then R2X for corners or railing, which makes it a little bit better.
If it bothers you so much, just download the remap mod. Oh yeah, we need to download a mod to help the game.
So the game
that's so great.
The game is shit that we have to fix it ourselves.
I know.
That's not a defense. You can apply that to literally any game ever. It's like, oh, if Unleashed's homing attack bothers you, you can remap it. It's like, that doesn't change the vanilla game.
What? How about this? Why doesn't the game give us the option on how we want to control our game? Which a lot of
guys,
games do.
If the swing speed in Spider-Man PS4 bothers you, get the swing speed mod.
Yeah. Exactly.
Hey guys, do you hate the music being loud, obnoxiously loud in Adventure 2? Or just download a mod
Wait,
so you can get like
You,
toggles.
you guys hate Sonic 06? Just play P06. There we go.
Problem solved.
6 is not bad. Just download PO6 and
Exactly.
ignore.
This is cope.
Sonic
fucking
06 was
dumb.
never bad because PO6 is here.
Exactly. So mods aren't valid, but PO6 is double standard. When did we use
It's not a
PO6?
double
standard. We literally
used
never
PO6
said
to
that.
defend 06. We've never said that.
We're
What?
not
Show me where I
defending
said that. Where did I say
Sonic
that? Pull
06
that. Show that. Show that right now.
Literally, the only
that, show
thing
me
that
that,
we
show me that
said
right
was
now.
that PO6 is more complex. Like, I'm fairly certain that's it. It's like that, and that is true. And it's a game from 2001. Who
When I
the
talk
fuck
about-
cares?
When I
That
talk
is
when I
not
talk about
an
Sonic
argument.
when I talk about Sonic like PO6, I'm talking about specifically only that version of the game. I'm not talking about Sonic 06, and I'm not using it to defend Sonic 06.
No, I didn't. No, I
As
didn't.
far as
Show me
I-
that. Show me that. Show me
As
that
far
right now.
as far as I see it, PO6 is a completely different it's a different game.
It is.
It's not Sonic 06. They basically changed it enough that it's essentially its own thing.
Yeah, like no story, no boss fights, better graphics, better controls, less glitches.
You use
It quite
PO6
literally
as
is its
the
own.
Gold. Yeah, because PO6 is a gold standard, and we've explained
The gold
why.
PO6
play
is
it.
the best adventure formula game.
It is.
It just is.
It's the only good one,
But
to be honest.
Oh fucking hell, that's a hot take.
I mean, I would agree. It's the only one that I think is like really really great because the other ones are
It's like-
bogged down by stupid, lame characters to play as and all this other dumb shit.
It's like the worst character in PO6 is like comparable to Sonic and Shadow in Adventure 2.
yeah.
Who would be the
Unironically.
worst character in PO6 anyways?
I ranked them recently. I think it'd probably be either Amy or Omega. Omega just because he's slow, and Amy because she's like kind of generic.
But yet there's
Yeah,
still fun to play.
Omega is like a more fun version of the mech stages. That's how I
Literally.
see it. It's the mech stages if at least you can do more than just shoot. Like you can do melee and shit, so it's like a little better. Also,
can
the enemy
turn it
types
into-
are stronger. Like they don't all die in one hit.
Yeah, you also have yeah, you have like the first person turret mode, which is like
Which is
an
kinda
actual
neat.
pretty cool concept. How do I get in the call? Join the disagreement day and go in the like
Weight
call,
room.
the weight room. Yeah.
I'd rather play as Adventure Amy than the fucking Knuckles and Tails in Adventure 2. I'm gonna be honest.
For one moment, I thought you were gonna say you'd prefer Adventure 1 Amy over PO6 Amy. I got really worried.
I mean, I actually wouldn't know. I mean, I'm assuming PO6 is better.
PO6
She is.
takes parts of it,
She's got a couple.
and
She's got a
improves.
couple of new gimmicks, and she's got the double jump as well. So she's probably better.
Yeah, I guess so. She's
Plus,
like
she's just got.
it was, like,
plus,
okay
she's just got
in
way
Adventure
better
1.
levels in PO6 as well.
Yeah. I remember hers being like breezy when I played Adventure 1 though. Like she's one of the characters that were more tolerable because at least it was a platformer, even if it wasn't the best.
She's all right. She's just got 3 stages, and you can't really like do shit in any of them because the whole point of her campaign is just running away from an Eggman robot.
Yep. Still better than the fucking Knuckles stages in Adventure 2.
I finally killed
The
this
Knuckles
fly in
stages in
my room.
Adventure 2 are shit.
It was
I-
annoying since morning. Couldn't even eat breakfast in peace. Damn, it took you that long
What?
to get rid of a fly in your room, Capwizo?
Dude, SK, that's a Breaking Bad reference. The Fly. Pigwise whatever his name is. That's Walter White, bro. He couldn't get rid of the fly.
Wait, so if he's Walter White, then he really is a piece of shit.
Yeah, bro.
He's a bad person. Look in general.
If you don't like the part of the game, just mod it.
What an astounding counterpoint.
I just find it insane that this guy is like trying to talk about skill level and shit when it's like, dude, I went out of my way to A rank the levels that I liked in the game. Not only am I good at the game, at least speed stage wise, like if that just proves if I wanted to, I can just get good at the game in any other side. I just don't care. I don't want to because it's fucking boring.
It's also one of those where it's like, it would be like if I played a game and I wasn't enjoying it and I stopped at like the halfway point, and then people like came at me and they were like, "Oh, you didn't even finish the game, dude." I'm like, "Yeah, the game was so shit. I didn't want to finish it." It's like that's a problem. It's like, yes, I haven't completed all of this crap game that puts me to sleep. Like, what do you want from me? Like, the game wasn't good enough to demand my attention.
With games, like, of course, there's other, sections of content that you can't judge, but if you, it's one of those things where it's like you can still play some of it and still come to a conclusion, because if a game loses you that quickly, then that's just kind of a problem.
I mean, you guys are not saying that the multiple playable characters were a terrible idea. I mean,
even movies to an extent can have this problem as well, where it's like, yeah, if the film fails to engage you in the first hour because of this, and this, it's like, what context could justify that? Like, it's one thing if you're criticizing whether something makes sense in a story, but, we're talking about if this engages the player, or what it does for the experience.
So I genuinely don't think multiple playable characters is, like, the problem. Because it's like, look at PO6, it's like, every character's great. I think it's more so, like, I think it's more so the character balancing wasn't right in Adventure 2. And also, just the characters themselves, outside of Sonic and Shadow, are just not fun to play as.
Yeah, they're too basic.
Absolute trash. Is anyone going to join us for Disagreement Day?
I'm waiting for this Zombody person to join the Disagreement Day.
Has no one been brave enough to join?
No one's brave enough.
You not finishing it because you find it boring or not finishing it is an entirely subjective take. Yeah, exactly. Which is why when you flip the argument around and you say like, oh, you've just got to get good at it, bro, and then it's good. It's like, that's a subjective opinion as well. It's like, what if I do get good at it, and what if I still think it's shit? Like, what then?
Well, that's what's annoying, because I did get good at this game, and I still think, like, there's problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was like, I got really good at the game through the battle mode. And that is something that I'll say I did enjoy. I enjoyed the battle mode, because it really is, like, being fast at those levels. And especially when you're going, it gives you something to go up against, which is another player. And that kind of competition was enjoyable. But that's vastly more engaging than the main game.
You just don't like Sonic Adventure 2 because of skill issue. Yeah, when I see people defend games like that, that's just cope for the most part. That's just cope.
I mean, if you look at any competitive game, like any kind of big esport game, even the top players will criticize what's bad about it. You know, it doesn't matter how good you are, and these can be things that people that aren't good at the game also feel. Like, being good at a game doesn't immediately make it enjoyable, and just because you're good at a game, it doesn't mean it's a good one.
Well, I'm still waiting for the response that I got A rank on the game.
Yeah.
I'm still waiting for that.
If you get good at it and still don't find it engaging, I'd like to know more than it was boring that I didn't finish it. Sure, but we got a whole stream where we talked about it in detail.
I mean, how I see it, the speed stages are fine. They just have some level design things I don't like. The Tails level is way too simplistic, and there's not enough going on with it. And the Knuckles stages are just kind of just test my patience, because they're just not fun. There's not that much going on with it again, and it's really RNG how fast or slow it's gonna take to beat it, unless you memorize the map.
Look at it this way: the faster and better you are at the game, the less of the game is the actual fun levels. Because if you're really good, even let's say naturally, you're really good at the Sonic levels, then that ends up being 5% of the whole game time.
Literally,
Yeah,
yeah.
because Sonic himself has like a fifth of the overall levels. I'll never understand who thought it was a good idea to give Rouge the Bat more levels than Shadow the Hedgehog. Like, I'll
That
never
sound-
That was
understand how.
insane.
I'm fairly certain they have 4 levels each, but like, even so. Like, that's actually fucking stupid. It's like, the biggest issue for the Sonic levels for me is just how similar they feel. Like, they feel like very linear.
For the
Like,
most
Yeah,
part,
it's because
Cave.
most of them are.
I
besides
think-
It's like Pyramid
Final
Cave's
Rush.
probably the worst example. It's like you're
Yeah.
basically just running in a straight line, going up slopes or down slopes. It's like Final Rush is basically just rail grinding. There's very little else.
Well, I liked how Final Rush had a little bit more, I guess, openness for what paths you can take. Still no disagreements? Yeah, we're still waiting. Honestly, I mean, at this point, you can call in for like anything, like even if it's not about this game. Like, we'll just take in disagreements in general. But yeah, we'll mostly keep it open for people who want to talk about Sonic Adventure 2.
I think the story in this game was also a bit of a weird one.
The
Hey.
movie did a much better job of the story than this game did.
I agree.
Yep, that's fair.
Oh, somebody said, how do I get in the call?
Join Wait Room.
Yeah, so join the Disagreement Day server, the link's on the screen, and just hop in the wait room.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, there's quite a lot of reasons why, like, from a gameplay standpoint as well, like, we don't like, you know, the levels. It's not just, oh, we hate them because they're boring. It's like, there's...
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of issues in terms of like just the basic functionality, like with the camera, which is consistent throughout the levels. That is just a general issue with how the game functions.
And then there's issues with, like, the controls as well and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
Where is
I
Zombie?
love two-button video games. I love two-button video games.
Red Hood plays so good in
I'm
Arkham
scared.
Knight. I just wanted to mention that. I definitely like how Robin and Nightwing play in Arkham Knight. They're a ton of fun. And Catwoman, to be honest. All of them are really fun to play as. Sonic 3 has Jim Carrey, which automatically makes it the best Sonic project ever. That's based. Jim Carrey improves everything.
It's gonna be so sad when he retires. If he retires.
If he retires, no, he'll go on forever.
Yeah, he's again said he's thinking about coming back. He wasn't meant to come back for the second one, dude. Like, there's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah. Okay, I don't know what Zombody's doing. Zombody, what's your Discord? And, like, make sure you join the one that's right next to Disagreement Day server in the description. Don't join the one that says my server, because that's a separate one. To be honest, my biggest issues with Sonic Adventure 2 were the ways the characters felt so jank to control. I don't know how to explain it, but I felt myself being extra careful when moving, when half the time I didn't need to. Yeah, I mean, that's what I talked about how the game just creates trust problems with the player.
Yep.
Where it basically asks you to trust the player, but it's quite evident that you can't at many points.
Also crazy
I mean,
just how heavy the mechs feel. Like, it feels like you're just fighting the controls the entire way through.
Yeah. And it removes so much maneuverability. Let's see. Jim Carrey Eggman versus Game Eggman. Both are iconic. So I honestly don't even think that's worth, like, comparing. Like, Mike Pollock
Both of
versus
them are
Jim
absolute.
Carrey? That is crazy.
Mm.
Like, you cannot make me choose. You can't make me choose.
Yeah, they're both.
I choose Jim Carrey.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
I completely understand why they changed his motivations in that movie, and I think the decision to keep Gerald alive,
Yeah, Gerald. I
like
thought that was a great
the
decision.
fact that they kept him alive made Shadow's motivation better, because Shadow's motivation is a bit skewy in Sonic Adventure 2.
Mm.
But keeping Gerald Robotnik around to almost manipulate him, much better. Much better.
Yeah, I think it definitely helps as well, yeah. Because he's constantly like a voice. It's kind of like the devil figure in his head.
He's the
Yeah.
devil on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Yep. Kind of like you and Moisturizer, crusty fuck.
Yeah, Kronos, you crusty motherfucker.
Crustos.
Holy shit, that's a hot take. SO2
What's a
was
hot take?
innovative, and Sonic as a series has stagnated and plateaued ever since.
Innovation. I mean,
Okay. Sonic as a series is so unpopular right now. No one's excited. Sonic Racing Crossroads doesn't even exist.
doesn't even exist.
The fact that people are more excited for Sonic to go fast in a car than actually run should tell you where this series has gone.
Damn. Wait, car? Did you just say car?
I regret everything.
Why the Eggman didn't check the car at the border?
I mean, Kronos, you can't grab him. You can't put him in the car.
He can't put in the car.
Cronus, we should have a lava debate round 2.
Lava debate round 2. The lava
not
debate 2
fucking
electric
lava, bro.
boogaloo.
I've lost that.
Look at it,
I've
man.
lost that clip. I've actually lost.
Is it
that
gonna?
clip.
Oh,
I
is it
still
gonna?
have
Is it gonna be like Sonic Adventure 2, or like do we have multiple POV storylines for it? We need our rails section at the end where both of us keep falling off the rails repeatedly because they suck ass. Grab a soda.
The camera had really pissed me off when I played it. I couldn't find the hover upgrade for Tails, because I couldn't move the camera to find the corner of the map where the upgrade was. Yeah, that shit is, like, crazy. That's annoying.
Especially as well in the mech shooting levels, when the stages have a habit of just dropping enemies in front of you.
Yeah, I hate that.
Especially when you go through doorways, it's like you quite literally just you are guaranteed to take damage if you haven't like memorized the level design.
Mm-hmm. Which, like, that's not skill, that's just memory. Memorizing something, like, isn't skill. I think it'd actually be an interesting way of comparing the two, would be if you try to study for, like, let's say you're studying for a math test, you can memorize all of the terms and stuff all you want. You can memorize it, but that's not skill. Skill is actually knowing how to apply all of that stuff.
It's like it's also shit as well for the mechs, because it's not like every other character where you're unkillable as long as you have rings. It's like the mechs have a specific health bar, and you have to collect like new rings in order to heal yourself.
Yeah.
And also, when you play as Tails, you don't even get the health upgrade, because why not?
Still looking forward to what this racing game has in store. Honestly, I think it's ridiculous when I saw the $90 thing, or like, I guess technically the basic game is $70, but still $90 for the full experience. I think this is just pushing it like crazy.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna get the normal edition.
Yeah, I probably will as well. Probably later on down the line, not right away. Well, I guess it depends on when it comes out. Who asks for mechs anyway, even in the 90s for the Sonic series or whenever the game was made? I mean, the thing is that the mecha gameplay can be fun, right? I thought it was decently fun in Adventure 1 with, was it Omega or Gamma or whatever?
Gamma.
Yeah, Gamma.
Yeah, Gamma.
Has no one joined yet?
No, we're still waiting for this one guy who said he's gonna join, but didn't join.
Everyone here is a coward.
Cowards.
I'd also point out as well that with Sonic Adventure 1 it made sense because you're playing as a literal robot, but it's like in Adventure 2 it's like you just crippled Tails and put him in a mech suit. It's like Eggman. I mean, it makes more sense for Eggman, but it like within the context that you're playing as Eggman's personal mech, it just feels underwhelming. It's like all you have is like this measly little pea shooter.
Yeah, pretty much.
I wouldn't mind if it was only Eggman who was a mech stage.
Yeah, because generally speaking, his stages are better designed than Tails'. Or I think so.
Yeah,
anyway.
it does feel like they wanted it for Eggman specifically in the game, and not like, and like they just did it for Tails because it makes the most sense under the context, so that they homogenize the gameplay.
Well, apparently, when they were making Adventure 2, Tails was originally not supposed to be playable. So but at the last minute, they basically just turned him into an Eggman clone.
No.
It's so weird, like, what their plans was, because they were gonna originally not have you play as Shadow, and I'm like, how in the fuck can you make that design and make this concept of, like, the perfect rival to Sonic or whatever, evil Sonic, and have you not play as him? Like, initially, that's so fucking weird. Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, can hear you.
Oh, thank God.
The story is good. I personally think Adventure 2's story has issues.
I remember thinking it was pretty good for what it was. My only problem with the story is the presentation.
The story is good, it just has
not
like
wanna
a couple
engage
of
with it.
moments that really make no sense.
I think
it bugs me because, like, the story conceptually sounds like the best story in the Sonic franchise, but because of the presentation, it's just, man, what a wasted potential.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where it's like, if you have someone, like, try to rework with all of, like, the files and stuff like that, and, try to use, like, more HD models for it, I think that could definitely help it.
Well, that's why there needs to be some kind of remake for the game, because
Yeah.
imagine if we did the game where the story has a good presentation and we, like, fix whatever gameplay things they need to be fixed. That would be so much better.
Exactly.
If there's one Sonic game that deserves a remake, it is Adventure 2.
Yeah, completely agreed.
Yeah, that's fair.
What I don't even care if they made it a boost game. Like, just do it. Redo the game. because the ideas are so fun and so good. Like the story with like Gun and Shadow, it's so great. And like we see how it was in like Sonic 3 the movie, and it's like I don't think it was perfect there because there's some decisions I didn't like that they changed. But like, you know, the presentation fixed it. It's like look like the potential it had if like, you know, you just presented it well. The story people can really get behind.
Sonic Adventure 2 was going to be one of the final projects Sega would seemingly ever make before they got bailed out. Dang.
Yeah,
Crazy to
which
think
is
about.
it's really crazy
Yeah.
because it's like you know, usually if it's at their running's end, you'd expect like a really fucking amazing game to come out, but instead like it was more so they were focusing on adding so much shit into the game to make it feel humongous than like, you know, quality focus.
Yeah.
And it worked, you know, like Adventure 2 is a very popular game.
Let's see. I don't know where that I forget what the monkey PFP person even was.
Somebody.
Yeah, somebody. Don't know. The game was basically rushed anyway, even Shadow's design was included last second. Yeah, it seems more and more to me like Sonic Adventure 2 was kind of rushed.
Yep. I'm still happy it exists as a game though, because like it does add so much to the Sonic franchise in a positive way. Like,
True.
you know, introducing Shadow just automatically is peak.
Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with that.
I also really like the music in Adventure 2. The music is fire.
Mm-hmm. I think Live and Learn is the best Sonic song.
Hell yeah.
Of course, PJ disagrees.
The only songs I really don't like were the Knuckles ones. Those were just goofy.
Oh yeah, I ignored those.
Hey yo, it's Knuckles, walking around finding some emeralds. I smell like piss and I shat my shovels. Yo, it's Knuckles.
No, I didn't. No,
Yo.
I didn't. Show me that. Show me that.
Yeah,
like
Knuckles saw a big forehead, thought it was calling, but it wasn't. Then he goes back to finding the emeralds, doing nothing fun.
No,
But
I didn't.
finding the
No, I
fucking
didn't.
emeralds.
Show me that. Show me that right now. Show me that.
Kerfuffle shuffle, my name is Knuckles.
It's so
Like-
goofy. It's like I don't know what they were thinking with that. Just Knuckles rap. It's just a rap of like Knuckles is like what he's doing. They
I
got like
know,
somebody
it's all
rap
on the
like a
nose,
song
too.
for him. Well,
Like,
it's
the
so
only
hard.
way
You could tell that the person doing the song was having a hard time figuring out what to say about him. So he's just like, "Yo, it's Knuckles. He saw this bat bitch.
Meteor
Thought she
herd."
was pretty, I guess. Finding the emeralds."
I actually want to look up one of the lyrics. Let's try Meteor Herd. Meteor
no.
Herd lyrics. All right. Okay, let's see what this is about. Oh my. All right, I'm gonna read it out loud.
Oh no.
It's your main man Knuckles, and we in Meteor Herd, ready to go in space. Help me get the emeralds. Took a shuttle to space and left from our homes. At least we're with friends, and I'm not alone. Bad thing was that the emeralds spilled. Gotta search spaceman. Time to get ill. What's this? Can't fly or climb. I could just float. I hope I don't die. Meteors coming my way. We even gotta go straight. Ain't a criminal. Crime don't pay. Seen a crazy look. Eggman's face. Don't let it hit your move. Don't let it hit your move. Don't let it hit your move. Move. Don't let it hit your move. Move. Don't let it. Don't
Show
let
me
it hit
that.
your groove. Don't let
I
it
think
hit
I
your
joined the
groove.
wrong VC.
So awful. I hate the Knuckles songs. They're so fucking terrible.
I think the bigger question is what. I think the stupid thing about that as well is why did Knuckles even break the emerald to begin with? It's like he had a clear shot on Eggman. He could have just fucking broken his machine.
Because he's stupid.
Yeah, it's like, I can hit Eggman, I can hit his machine, or I can hit the one thing that I swore to protect.
Bro,
Yeah.
where is this mofo talking shit?
Also,
in
Knuckles
chat?
just gained the ability to fly in that scene. Like,
Yo, it's Knuckles.
write one of
I
those
broke the
song
emerald
centuries.
because I'm fucking stupid.
Garage
Because I'm
Lights, I
Knuckles.
swear down, if that is actually the lyric in one of those songs,
Oh my god.
I
that
really
better not.
hope not.
Better not.
I hope not. Like, someone had to have done that as a bet.
The
or a
Knuckles
joke.
song or TASM 2 Electro song. Dude, that is like such a
Asm
good
2 Electro is way
comparison.
better, bro.
Bro, every time I think about TASM 2, I just think of the fucking Thanos meme where it's like, perhaps I treated you too harshly.
It's your main man Electro, and we here at Times Square. You ready to go to New York? Help me get the spider.
That Batgirl is a hooker and rid me of my emeralds. Fucking Barbara Gordon had a change of heart.
He lied to me. He shot at me. He hates on me. He's using me. Fragility. Electricity.
Electricity.
Afraid of
What the fuck is
me.
this?
He's dead to me. He lied to me. He shot.
What the fuck am I listening to?
This is what we do when we wait for disagreements. I don't know where the dude is. They were all like, "Yo."
They're just intrusive thoughts, the VC.
They were talking so much shit, and the moment we set up a VC, just it's wild.
That's crazy. You talk all this shit, can't join VC. That's wild, bro. Cowardly zombies. Cowardly zombies.
Join the stream, Pippin. Join the
Come on the
stream.
stream, pimpin'.
I think at this point we just need to say some like out-of-pocket thing to make people join.
Okay.
How about we just spill all the hot takes in the world and just make people want
Adventure
to join?
2 is worse than Forces.
Ooh. Honestly,
And you
in
fuckers
some
know
ways,
what I feel
gotta
about
agree.
Forces.
I gotta agree. in
You
some
know
ways.
what I think about Forces.
Yeah, we know. Let's see. What some hot takes we can just bring people on. Oh yeah, Infinity War is a bad movie.
That's
Infinity War
true.
The
sucks.
fuck?
That's easy. Sonic's best 3D game is still worse than Mario's worst 3D game.
Damn.
Actually,
I'd have to go through more Mario shit. To really catch it. Oh, PJ said, "What are you smoking?" Okay, we're gonna have.
Yes,
one-
finally! Oh my
Yeah,
God.
All right. There we go. Generations clears
Also, is it-
Mario 64.
Oh, you're an idiot! Oh, come on.
also is it me or is I'm gonna just say
PJ.
You
this
couldn't
right
even go
now.
for Sunshine. I literally said Mario's worst 3D game, and you go for 64.
I'm gonna just say right now. I think Avengers Endgame has aged pretty poorly.
Avengers Endgame.
Avengers
Avengers
Endgame
Endgame
aged
sucks.
poorly when I left the cinema and thought about the movie for more than 5 minutes.
It
I
was
always
very shit.
disliked. I always
Avengers-
disliked
Endgame was
Avengers
so
Endgame
bad
is
that it set me on
how I
such a
was
dark path
watching it.
that it drew me into the arms of SK. It was after my rage of Endgame that I ended up following people that eventually led me to SK in the first
That's
place.
funny.
That was what brought me and SK together too, because we started out on opposing sides on Dark Knight Rises. Endgame was the glue that brought us together.
Oh,
Well, actually, to be fair,
someone's here.
cool.
We'll move them in. What's up?
There we go.
What's up, Noah?
So,
What is up?
not much. I just figured I'd provide some content. Shut up, PJ.
Is there
Oh,
a
nice.
disagreement?
Yeah. I just wanted to come on and ask, like I concede to the points about Adventure 2. I just want to as like, would you consider it worse than Adventure 1, jank and all?
Yeah, it is worse than Adventure 1. Well, Riff just said it's worse than Forces, so.
That was a joke.
Oh.
Although-
Damn. Well, if we really want to attract people, we gotta just be like, this is worse than 06.
Okay, I feel like that brings up a good point though. What Sonic games are worse than Adventure 2?
Well, this is a
go all-
disagreement day. This is not a question day.
Fuck.
If there's no disagreement, we gotta boot you.
It's
This ain't
disagreement
no-
day, not chicken and
SK is the
questions.
best version.
This ain't no school.
Same school. All right, well that's
Been
it.
there.
Day,
Lot-
not
lot shit
question
years ago.
day. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
This is
This-
disagreement day, not chicken and questions.
We want
Goodbye.
disagreements. We want blood. We want blood.
Name
Yes,
a
we
game
want- we
that,
want- we
that
want
Sonic
blood.
Adventure 2 is better than, and I'll probably tell you you're wrong.
You know? I'm just waiting while we wait for PJ to, get off mute so they can have their debate. What other hot takes could we just throw there?
If you don't have a Switch 2, it's just because you're broke. Stop moaning about it. It's a good console.
No.
Oh.
Fucking hate that console. Also, hasn't it like already been hacked? Like, didn't someone like already hack into it?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I haven't heard shit about hacking.
Oh, yeah. Apparently,
Yes,
people were
what is that
making
profile
videos on
pic?
that.
I'm taunting.
What the hell?
Also, if you're an American and you're moaning about the Switch 2, shut up. It's way worse everywhere else.
Damn.
It's way worse everywhere else. I do not want to go into how expensive it is over here because it is ridiculous. But when you do get it hands on, I totally see it being worth the money. Like, it's still justifiable for how expensive it is, but it's not justifiable when you compare it to prices like the US and Japan because it is so much better than it is here.
Eka, we cannot introduce SK to Harmon Smith. That will just end the internet.
Why
We
is that?
cannot do that.
Wait,
Oh.
who's that?
Oh my good god. If you want the worst takes on gaming, like he's very passionate about Nintendo, shall we say, to the
Uh-oh.
point where like basically anything Nintendo is just quote unquote objectively better than everything else. Like
Damn.
it's rough.
I have a
Okay.
hot take. I have a
And
hot
also,
take.
I feel like you'll piss yourself laughing because he's like, imagine like, because like when there was the drama between like you guys and Colin and shit, it's like I know people kept making the joke, oh,
forehead.
get a job. Fucking Harmon Smith literally looks like Colin, like in like 20 years time.
Oh
Like
my god.
he's just like he's just this.
So he has a big forehead.
he's
No,
just
I
this
didn't.
fat
No, I
fucker.
didn't.
He's
Show me that.
got-
Show me that. Show me that right now.
It's like he's
show
just
me that,
this.
show me that. Show me that right now.
Like he's just this fat, overweight man with pubes for hair. He's got like fucking
Damn.
Uncle Ruckus eyes, where one is massive compared to the other, and he just spouts nonsense. And he sounds like how you would imagine Twitter people sounding.
Damn.
It's rough. Like just watch one of his videos just at random. You'll have a good time.
All right. So while we
I have a
wait,
hot take.
yeah, go ahead.
When it comes to Sonic versus Mario, whenever Sonic has a game that is really good, it's usually better than that Mario game.
But when it's bad, it's usually not good.
Yeah, when it's
Or-
bad, it's like Sonic is either better than Mario or way worse than Mario, depending on the game.
Yeah.
Alright, that's fair.
I got
That's my take.
I got a hot take right here. Insomniac Prowler is way better than Spider-Verse Prowler. Maybe this will bring people. I don't know. Who knows? He makes like 3 videos a day and doesn't make thumbnails besides like random rankings where he uses AI. That's
Oh
crazy.
yeah, his thumbnails are cursed.
Damn.
Arkham Joker is better than BTAS Joker.
Yeah, let's see if we can get some blood. Let's see if we get blood. Let's see, what else could we think of? Hot take, Sonic fans should move on from the Sonic games and play other platformers. Well, here's the thing, Neo Arcadia. The franchise needs to actually die this time. What are you smoking the Prowler
Sonic
for?
would die. I like Sonic.
Listen, all I'm saying is that Insomniac Prowler is just way better than and Spider-Verse Prowler. Way better. Just my opinion.
I feel like this is a take that you guys mentioned in your Spider-Man 2 thing. Topher Grace's Venom being better than Insomniac Venom.
Oh yeah, he's easily better.
This one will attract any attention, but Terry McGinnis is a way better legacy character than Miles Morales.
Oh, so you're a racist.
Yes.
Oh my god. Look in
What do you
general.
mean, Miles? Huh?
Look in general. Yes, sent an image of that Harmon Smith guy saying Diddy Kong is better than P. Diddy.
Yep, that is a video that he made. Yep, that does exist.
Damn. Do we have to debate about Sonic Adventure 2 or something else? It could be about anything. As far as like media is concerned.
Yeah, there was a guy that was supposed to be joining.
And they didn't.
Another
join.
hot take. Darth Vader is one of the most overrated fictional characters I've ever seen.
Damn.
Oh Jesus. I'm not even like disagreeing. I'm just curious as to why you think that.
People are just annoying with him.
Well, hold on. When you say like Darth Vader, are you like factoring in like are you only talking about episodes 4 to 6, or are you including like his entire journey?
Everything. Yeah, everything.
What is up?
Who joined?
Hello, what is
Yeah,
your
no,
name?
especially amongst Star Wars fans, I agree that he's overrated.
Anonymous.
Everyone,
What is that?
the glaze for Darth Vader is crazy.
It's annoying.
Anonymous.
Anonymous.
The thing with like Darth Vader is like there's like weirdos out there that act like Anakin is like this like best character in all of fiction, and I'm like, bro, we can calm it down a little bit.
We can comment down a lot.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
What's your disagreement and tell us why?
Alright. I really need you to elaborate on that Prowler take of yours.
Okay. So, to elaborate on the Prowler, I think Prowler is obviously Prowler's not meant to be like an all completely bad guy, right? He does a lot of bad things, but he's meant to have more of like a code behind it. He's meant to have more sympathetic elements about his character, at least with both of these Prowlers. And I just think Insomniac did a better job with it for a few reasons. One would be that in Into the Spider-Verse, I do think it's a little bit glossed over that how the Prowler, basically he's willing to kill kids as long as they're not Miles.
Good.
Which kind of takes away from like the sympathetic elements that they want to establish. And I don't know, I think it is a bit much that, you know, with someone who does this, that they have like this whole this whole big like honor thing for him. Like I forget what do they call it, those big murals for him, kind of respecting like, you know, who he was and whatever. And I do think that is a bit much in context, if we're meant to believe that this guy is, like, a child killer. And, like, I can see why Miles and his dad would be, you know, biased for him, because, you know, they love him, he's family. But it's more of a presentation thing. I think it is a little bit too light on Aaron Davis and you know, everything he's done. I don't know, it stands out as a little strange to me. Whereas in the Insomniac version, I actually do like that the Prowler, in terms of the consequences he faces, it's a lot, well, besides dying, right? And I mean in terms of, like, his public image. It's a lot heavier for him, and on top of that, I do think that he is, like, a more consistent character than Prowler in Into the Spider-Verse, because something that I find weird about Into the Spider-Verse is that the Prowler knows that Kingpin is behind this collider that endangers Miles, who's in the same area where all of these earthquakes are happening, and like he still works for him. So like it just raises a couple questions for me. Like, one, did he not think to like try to get Miles out of the city in any way whatsoever, even luring him out, just to make sure he's safe from it, or like why does he just want to finish what Kingpin is doing? Because like Kingpin's,
Or his brother, by the way.
yeah, or his brother, because he loves his brother for sure. It's like, yeah, so he works for Kingpin when he's like building this collider that could just honestly it could kill him too when he's supposed to be benefiting off this. Like this could open a black hole under Brooklyn, and Blonde Peter literally mentions that in front of him. And Kingpin, you know, he doesn't refute that whatsoever. He's just like, yeah, it's not always about the money. So like he is acknowledging, yes, I'm taking the risk because I want it for my family. And I feel like the Prowler would be able to see through that. It's like, wow, this is fucking dangerous to like the entire well, yeah, to the entire city and potentially the entire world. This could destroy the world. So I don't know. I find his motivations to help Kingpin a bit strange. On top of that, like, just remember, the whole plot would have been over if he just didn't stop Peter from putting in the, what is it, the goober? Pushing the button and then ending it. It's like, yeah, the plot, Kingpin would have been stopped if he did that. Why didn't you just let that play out? Because, like, do you care about your family? Or, like, self-preservation? I don't know. I feel like because of the stakes of the Collider, it just kind of skews his motivation to work for Kingpin and do as much as he does for him.
I completely agree with that. I
don't know. And
really well made point.
It kind of takes away from the sympathetic elements as well, like I talked about earlier. Whereas, like, the Insomniac version, if we want to compare Spider-Verse Prowler to Insomniac Prowler, Insomniac Prowler literally has a plan dedicated to making sure the Underground and Roxxon take each other out, which means Miles gets to sit back and be safe from it. Like, he has plans dedicated to Miles' safety, which I think is a better way to write that kind of character. Whereas this one doesn't seem to have a plan whatsoever. Like, even if it doesn't work, at least have him try something, which we don't see at all. But yeah, that's why I think Insomniac is a lot better. I think that's just a huge weakness for the Spider-Verse version. Even though I still think the movie's a great movie, I still think it's great, but I think this part is really weak for Prowler.
Well, that was a good argument. Let me.
But you have my home address.
That's a nice argument, Senator, but why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up. Comic Legend is a psycho confirmed. That's what PJ just said.
That's just true.
Psycho Legend. Recognize this. Wait, yes, you're saying that's my IP address? Show me the bodies.
I can't believe that you would leak my IP address openly.
On stream too.
Thank you, Kiwi. I hope you're doing well as well.
Yeah.
Hot take: sister location is garbage. That's a crazy opinion.
Fuck you, PJ. Fuck you, piece of shit.
Yeah, what you post there is a fucking lie. Fuck you.
Hot take. Even now that Scarlet and Violet run great on the Switch 2, they are still ass Pokemon games. And Terrestrialization, if you want to argue that Terrestrialization is a good gimmick, whatever, it looks fucking ugly and I never want to see it again in my life.
I agree
I also
FNAF
think
2 is better than fucking Sister Location. Doesn't mean Sister Location's garbage.
Damn.
I think they're all garbage.
Fuck you.
I think FNAF sucks.
You're
I think
dishonest.
FNAF should have never existed. I think we should wipe FNAF off the face of the earth.
Y'all are trash.
Invalidated too many people.
Someone said to me, "Who's smarter, Rags or Fringy?" I don't fucking know.
Well, one is
God.
Australian, so that's one is Australian, so that's automatically a debuff.
I think Fringy is actually a little bit.
Fringy is
a little bit
genuinely smarter. If I'm being serious, I think he's genuinely smarter.
Fringy tells me that he's been outside. He just might not have had the best time. But Rags doesn't seem like he's ever left his room.
Yeah.
Have you thought about the fact that Prowler was sleep deprived?
Oh
That's
yeah,
why
of
he
course,
couldn't
of
think of
course.
Mm.
That
See,
totally
Can we have a
absolves
real
everything.
disagreement?
Yeah, we need
I've been
a
waiting
real
for
one.
a long time. We need a real We need someone who's
Oh.
actually willing to yell at SK.
Thank you for the
I'm gonna say this right
I'm
now,
not sure
SK.
what.
If there's one downside of not being friends with Colin, we don't get his retarded audience to come in here and act stupid anymore.
Holy
That
shit!
is true.
Chill out. Thank you for the money, Indolent Lard. Thoughts on Crossworlds? I'm happy. Ishibin, although he looks ugly, and Miko are free. I think
Hatsune
Crossworlds.
Miku's in the game. That's all that matters. It's the best racing game ever made now.
I think it is an interesting. I think it's an interesting game from the looks of it. I would have to. The thing I don't like is that it costs a ridiculous amount of money just to play.
It does.
Why? Why? I don't get that.
Yeah, it's the thing I mentioned before with the whole Street Fighter Cross Tekken thing, and it's what modern games are doing, where they're giving you a base game, cutting out like 10% of the content, and then saying, "Oh, we're going to charge you 30% to have it," and it's like, it's insane. The $90 is insane. I should double check how much it is here,
For a
because it's
gaming
always worse here.
experience.
It's always worse over here, man.
That's wild.
Still, region issue.
I think
Region
gaming
skill
hates your
issue.
region.
I hate it. Don't worry.
I think I hate my region
hate
too.
it. I hate it.
I
I
need
hate
to,
your region
I need to
too,
leave.
yeah. I hate your region
Okay.
too.
I
I want to see how much
I'm
is
not going to be here very long.
Pokemon Legends. How
Or
much
the
is Pokemon
innovation,
Legends?
that's
No way is it that expensive.
What is it? What is it?
$108.25 here.
Oh my god.
Here we go.
Over $100.
108 is crazy. Wait a second.
What the?
See how much. I need to see how much Legends ZA is gonna be.
Alright, I'm gonna boot Anonymous since it seems like they don't have any other disagreements.
Mega Evolution. What I need to know.
Remember, join in if you have a disagreement.
Tell me the fucking price. Tell me the. Oh, there it is.
May I
There it
ask
is.
your thoughts
Oh,
on
Legends
Silent
ZA is
Hill?
only gonna be 50
Been getting
bucks.
into the series recently and honestly been excited for Silent Hill.
Winning.
Do you have opinions on it? I've yet to play Silent Hill, but I'd like to play it at some point. I know Dom has been recommending it.
All I know is Legends ZA is only gonna be 50 bucks. I'm winning. I'm
But
winning.
yeah, I gotta say,
Okay.
I've been loving Better Call Saul lately. That, especially that last episode. I think a certain character got what he deserved.
No one. So you're saying that no one got hurt who didn't deserve it?
Yes, exactly. Yes just said.
This chicanery.
Yes just said, if anyone is able to make me angry enough with a disagreement to yell, I will gift V-Bucks or Fivers. Take your pick. Pattern up.
V-Bucks or 5.
Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. I think the way
I
to
saw this
piss off
video
Yesh is to start
recently.
being disingenuous about Nintendo.
I saw this video recently from I don't know if you know Wolfie GC, Wolfie VGC. SK.
Oh, no,
He's
I don't
like a competitive. Yeah, he's like a competitive. He's a really good, successful, popular, competitive Pokemon player. I just saw his recent video on why he loves Dynamaxing and why he thinks it's better than Mega Evolutions, and it's probably one of the worst videos I've ever seen.
Damn.
In terms of the arguments made, right? Presentation-wise, it's pretty good, but like his arguments were fucking awful.
God damn. Alright.
Well, it's not even necessarily that his arguments were like inherently bad. It was just he's clearly looking at it from specifically a VGC perspective, which is just not what majority of people play Pokemon. Like majority of the time spent playing Pokemon is spent playing the campaign, not VGC. So if you're gonna have a gimmick that takes place throughout the whole game, it should be with the thing that majority of people are gonna spend majority of their time on, which is the campaign, not not the specific tournaments that are going to be held for like 2 years before the next game comes out, and then they change it again.
Find that opinion deep in your gut. Rise, fucking rise. Adding up worms.
If there's no more disagreements coming on, you guys want to just call it?
Yeah, we'll probably give it like I'll give it like 5 more minutes beforehand, and then I'll probably head to dinner.
Nobody wants 5.
It's gonna be five real
Listen,
minutes. Or like
you've got 5 minutes to piss us off. 5 minutes to piss us off.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the meantime,
Yes. Have you seen the new Predator movie that came out?
No.
Holy shit, it's so good. You need to watch it. It's absolute peak.
Why?
Complete cinema. Because it's amazing. What the fuck
Why?
you
did you like the people who made it?
I do like the people who made it. He also made Prey, which is another really good Predator movie.
Oh, it's the one that made Prey.
Yeah.
Oh, then it's gonna be fire.
It is fire. It is fire. It came. It's animated. It's on Disney Plus right now. I watched it earlier today.
Not really a disagreement, but just out of curiosity. So, of all of the people that you've made videos on YouTube, who is like the dumbest?
The dumbest.
Colin.
Yeah. Listen. Out of everyone that we've ever talked about, I have never in my life heard someone make the argument that if you want development for this character, you should just go watch their previous appearance. No one has ever said that to me. Ever.
Nobody's ever compared leaving a video game match to rubbing their ball sack on fucking McDonald's chicken nuggets.
True.
I've never heard that in my life.
And listen, I've had people tell me that I should, if I want good criticisms for this movie, I should like go look at Reddit, you know? But still, if you want development for a character, go watch The Last Appearance. This is by far the dumbest argument that I've ever heard in defense of anything.
What about you shouldn't recommend this person's video because I don't like the person who made it.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Jack Kent.
Yeah, the Jack Kettner thing.
Never in my life have I ever heard someone think that Jack the Ripper was a fictional character.
It's amazing.
He's on me road, mate.
Dude, it was
Oh,
over once
you're talking
Connor
about
was just
that?
like,
You're talking about
okay.
that Ted Bundy character, that fictional guy, right? From the TV show.
If you are an individual,
If you're an individual.
I find it crazy. I had to explain the concept that humans value themselves and their loved ones over random people to him. I thought it was a self-evident thing. I thought it was kind of a thing that everyone kind of just knew. I didn't think it was. He caught me off guard when he asked for an explanation. I didn't think it was something that needed to be explained.
Why does 4 or 5 people's fun matter to them?
Why are you ruining 4 to 5 random people's fun, bro? It's like, maybe, I don't know, because my fun is more important. How about that? Fuck you.
Literally, my only disagreement is literally Sonic Adventure 2 not being the worst game, and the worst game is Lost World. That's it. Well, to be fair, I don't think we said it was the worst game, and I don't know about Lost World because I haven't played it.
I don't think it's a bad game. It's just overrated, I guess.
Like I said
never
earlier,
really
I didn't
liked
think it
it.
was terrible. I just think it's weak.
Forces is better, though, because Forces is shorter, and so it ends faster.
That's crazy. I actually kind of like the gameplay for Lost World, but the story and writing is ass. Interesting.
Yes. The storytelling of Lost World is
Lost World.
horrendous.
Lost World is the one with the big red guy, right?
Yeah, it's the big
Yep.
red guy.
Yeah.
it was for like the 3. It was on the 3DS. I remember like playing it when the 3DS like first came out.
The Deadly
Yeah, it was
Six?
basically Sonic, but if it was like a new Super Mario Bros. Game.
Wait, PJ,
Basically,
you say
yeah.
the Deadly Six? Don't you mean the Sweet Baby Six?
The Sweet Baby Six.
The 1/10 6.
The 1/10/6. Thank you for the
The
money,
1/6.
Indolent Lard. Adventure 2
The
or
1/6.
I think
1?
that's
610.
Deadly Sins or some shit.
Adventure 1 is way better, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
At least with
actually-
Adventure 1, I can ignore the other shit and just play the 10 Sonic levels.
Colin is the same guy that thinks Shang-Chi is the best fight choreography in any movie. His midiest palette is whatever
Wow.
popular in cape shit. Here's the thing, though, like, a lot of the criticism towards Shang-Chi may be really dumb, but at least, like, I don't know why Colin is saying that it's, like, better than Iron Man 1. Like, okay, slow down. It is not that good.
Next up, he's gonna say it's better than Doctor Strange. That's crazy.
I think
This
he
might be a
already
hot
thinks that.
Dude, he
Oh, I
thinks that
think-
the best
I
traversal
think he's
system in
stupid,
any
so-
game is Spider-Man 2. Like the fucking Insomniac game.
This might be a hot
Dude, Sonic
take, but I'll
Unleashed
say
is
it
better
anyway.
traversal.
Literally, like, any fucking platformer has better traversal. Like, at least the good
Every
ones.
infamous game
What were you
has
saying,
better
Riff?
traversal.
I was gonna say, coming back to Sonic, a hot take I've always had is I think the Perfect Chaos fight from Adventure 1 was better than the Final Hazard from Adventure 2.
I agree.
Easily.
Like, you're literally just fucking flying through a flooded city, taking down a god. In Adventure 2, you're just like fucking janky ass
Big
controls in
lizard.
space.
Big lizard. Big monster.
A big
Annoying.
lizard, though.
Yeah, big lizard with a boil on its bottom. Like, cool.
Bootleg,
Welcome.
bootleg. What's it called? Bootleg Gamera.
Literally.
Wow.
Bootleg Gamera, the boss fight.
PJ says Shang-Chi is fire. Well, PJ, have you considered... PJ, you want to know what one of Kairito's arguments was against the movie? Alright, he's muted, so... I don't get to hear his... No, PJ, I think you want to hear this. So, Kairito said...
No,
why-
I don't think I do. Have a nice day. This was a good talk, SK. But I feel hurt, so...
Listen, Liam, I understand your feelings completely, but I need to get this point out. So PJ, Kairito said, why doesn't what's his fucking name? Wenwu. Why doesn't Wenwu have the what was it? The Eye of Agamotto? Why doesn't he have the Eye of Agamotto? And like the sling rings.
Just one word response. Perfect.
And he also said, why does Hydra exist if the 10 rings exist? Because they're both changing history. Guys, how does more than one organization change history?
The CIA and the KGB famously existing at two different points in time.
The Soviet Union and the United States of America.
How dare S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra exist at the same time?
Out there. The Mafia, famously an organization that never existed when the FBI or CIA existed.
I like how PJ's just flooding.
How
the
are
chat
there
like a moron.
how are there drug cartels if the CIA exists, SK, huh? Paho.
Okay,
Paho in
boy,
real
have you
life.
considered that Batman operates in the shadows? Therefore, why does he have a logo on? I'm not going to accept an opinion or criticism from a person who literally uses a whole doc IRL for why No Way Home is bad. that was crazy when I heard that. That he does that.
That is
That's so
crazy
funny.
levels of unemployment.
Wait, who was this?
Kairito, he's a friend of mine. He's just really goofy, so we make fun of him.
He's quite a
SK
quite a-
basically
he's
enables the most, like, online critic behavior I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I enable chaos.
No, you enable online behavior.
Oh, really? That's...
Yeah.
Fucking docs up the wazoo.
Knocks out the wazoo.
Liam, you've been very disrespectful this entire conversation.
I understand you're frustrated, but you've been very disrespectful this entire conversation, Liam. Liam, I understand that Sonic Adventure 2 has terrible treasure levels, but you've been very disrespectful to Knuckles.
Why does
You gotta
League
leave him
Entertainment and
alone.
the Amazing Lucas exist at the same time?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, explain that right now.
I think I would pay money to see the Amazing Lucas and Synthetic Man in a call together.
Oh, that would be crazy. Imagine the bullying that would take place.
I want to see Keemstar debate Lucas.
Yeah, they need their face cams on for that
Flash,
too.
Yes, I know.
Just put the was it Flash in reverse? Flash from Injustice 2. Just play that. There you go.
If I was allowed one wish in my entire life, it would be the Amazing Lucas and Keemstar go online and have a debate.
A very heated one with their face.
They have a
cams
very
on.
heated YouTube.
I'm so mad I never
live
got to
stream
debate Lucas.
Well, maybe there's a chance in the future. Because remember, Yesh, we both have him friended. So somehow you.
I do not know when that happened. To this day, I have no idea when we became friends on Discord because I was not involved in this shit when it happened. So when people started DMing me like, "Do you know you're friends with this guy?" No, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
There's no evidence.
The Amazing Lightspeed. All right, I think it's been 5 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm
it has
I'm
been
trying
5
to
minutes.
threaten people all over the place.
Exactly. Yeah, see, if you guys really want to get Yes mad, you just talk shit about like Zelda. Just say Zelda's a terrible franchise and it's worse than FNAF. There you go.
Oh, he's about to explode.
I mean, I made money off criticizing Zelda.
FNAF is literally better than Zelda. That is just true.
Exactly.
Shut
When
up.
people praise FNAF, are they talking about the lore mostly? It's like,
They're talking
Everything.
about
Everything.
So yes, so they're talking about not just if they're only talking about the lore for the longest time, there was like nothing to talk about. They're talking specifically about like their theories on like what the lore means and how the timeline goes. It's like the SpongeBob episode where they're in the box and like a whole bunch of crazy shit is happening, but then Squidward gets in the box and then nothing happens, and it's like you have to use your imagination.
why does the Amazing Lucas, Colin, Synthetic Man, Harmon Smith, Noodles, and Starkstar exist at the same time? That is the Avengers cast we didn't know we needed.
Jesus Christ.
Like,
I've never
New York
met...
would be fucked if that was the case. Like, Loki would just win. Loki could just sit back and watch them destroy New York themselves.
Guys, but you guys don't understand. You guys don't understand. The MCU was very grounded when Thor came from another planet via magic and fought a giant suit of armor in the middle of a small town.
A giant suit of
That
armor
movie is
belongs
peak,
to
and
Odin.
I will never talk about it
Grounded.
again.
No, I
Grounded.
just imagine the
And then-
dialogue. I imagine the dialogue would be like, "I have an army." No, you don't. No, you don't. Show me that. Show me that. Show me that right now.
That's
And then he
how
shows
it's
the army.
It's like I
What
saw
would it-
someone be like,
what would it be for, like,
genuinely
all of
saw
them?
people on Twitter. I genuinely saw someone on Twitter be like, the MCU used to be grounded. It's like, bro, the first Avengers movie had a giant wormhole open up above New York City.
I feel
And
like
then out
I feel
come
like
an
there'd be
army
more
of
the Thunderbolts
What
than
are
the
you talking
Avengers,
about?
honestly. Like I feel like if that was a team, it would be more akin to the Thunderbolts because it would be most of them are kind of weak level like streak tier characters, and then the Amazing Lucas is just fucking Sentry.
I'm sorry, if it was the Thunderbolts in 2012, Loki would literally Loki would have won. The Thunderbolts weren't gonna do shit. Like let's
Lucas
be
was
honest.
right about Spider-Man.
The Thunderbolts were not doing
What about
shit.
Sentry? Can't like Sentry just win everything because he's overpowered?
Well, I'm not including Sentry because he wasn't a Thunderbolt for like the majority of the fucking like film until they, because he was evil, because he was good and he was evil. So I'm not including him. I'm talking about just excluding him. If it was just the other Thunderbolts facing up against the threat, like they did with like the Void at the end of the movie, they would have gotten their asses kicked in 2012. Like, bro, I'm sorry. What is Yelena doing? What is Yelena, Bucky, and Red Guardian doing?
Oh,
fighting-
I
they're
disagree
fighting-
with that. I disagree with that. Okay.
Like the MCU
You think, they
doesn't
can,
even superhero media.
you think they can stop Loki in 2012?
No. The latest comment.
Yo, SK, did you end the stream or no?
Not yet.
Someone just commented, hot take, the MCU has ruined superhero media single-handedly with the same McDonald's filmmaking and not innovating the genre.
Single-handedly, no.
I also
you
think
could-
that they almost single-handedly revived it to be as large as it is.
Yeah.
I don't think
Like,
there's
you could
any way we
could
can...
you argue that in the long term it's ruined it had a part in ruining it? Maybe. But like single-handedly, absolutely not.
If the MCU didn't exist, The Dark Knight Rises would have single-handedly ruined superhero media.
Damn.
We
Well, I think
can't
the
say that
DCU
it
would have
ruined
done
the
it.
genre when it's kind of the only reason it's
Yeah, I
still
think
around.
the DCU would have done that. Where you had fucking DCU, we had the Green Lantern has still ruined the public perception of Hal Jordan to this fucking day. You had The Dark Knight Rises. One More Day happened completely independently from the MCU existing.
hmm I mean, you have to bear in mind that the superhero genre was a joke. Entirely was a joke outside of The Dark Knight and Spider-Man. Unless I
I said
missed
The Dark
something.
Knight Spider-Man spectacular in the image.
It's like you could say the same thing with like video games as a whole. It's like it used to be like a really nerdy thing, and then it just became mainstream. It's like the same thing with superheroes. It's like the MCU just made them popular.
Yeah. But it'd be like saying
Now-
Nintendo single-handedly destroyed the gaming genre.
Gaming.
And it's like, well, it wouldn't exist anymore if it wasn't for Nintendo. Because that was going to go in the bin. It was literally about to be like a dead media until Nintendo brought it back. So it's like, yeah, maybe they're making bad decisions, but you can't say they single-handedly destroyed it when it exists. Well, you can. You can say they both created it and destroyed it
And destroyed it.
in a weird way.
You could say the MCU had a hand in reviving the superhero like genre, absolutely,
Yeah.
but it also had a hand in ruining a lot of superhero genre.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to argue that it ruined a lot more than it created, I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to.
I would say
explain
that the
how that
superhero
works.
genre is
I
still
think
in a better
nowadays
space
it is.
now than if it didn't exist at all.
I think
'Cause people
nowadays
can still take it
it's doing more
seriously.
harm than good, the MCU, but that's just because, Phase 4 and shit.
Yeah, but I think people are still willing to enjoy superhero media outside of the MCU. And so while I do think the MCU has like made people fatigued from it, we're still in a much better position because of it. I
Well,
mean, just
Yeah, well, it's like it also depends what we're talking about. Because like, are we talking about comics? Are we talking about the games? Are we talking about the movies? Are we talking about the shows?
Well, it seems like we're trying
like
to make like a fucking a gaming
Show-wise, I
cinematic
think it's-
universe.
Yeah, well, show-wise, I think it's in a worse place. I'll be honest.
Easily, yeah. The
I'll
shows
take
are
games,
fucking
to be
shit
honest.
now.
A gaming cinematic universe would be pretty cool.
Yeah, but if they make it as slop
course you
as the
think that.
MCU, I don't. Yeah, if they make it as slop as the MCU has been with it, like at points, I don't want it.
True.
I don't want to live in a gaming cinema. I don't want to live in a Marvel
I don't wanna
gaming
live in a
universe where
gaming
Harry
cinematic
Osborn is fucking Venom,
Oh.
and they make decisions like that on the constant. It's the same problem with like Arkham, like how it's like, oh, then now there's the Arkham verse. It's like, why couldn't it just be fucking 4 games and you leave it be?
no, yeah.
Because
Thing,
money.
I think so many comic series should have just like ended where they were. Like, I know maybe that's a bit of
But
a
yeah, that's just the
disagreement,
thing. That's just
but
the thing
like,
with superhero stuff in general. It's that it just doesn't end. Like
Yeah,
everything
and I
gets
think
retconned,
that's
rebooted,
such a
and it
big
continues
problem.
forever. I do think that's a big problem. It's one of the reasons I much prefer like manga and anime because those stories begin and then they end. And then the characters like move on with their lives.
Stories
Yeah.
end. Crazy.
Exactly. Like Spider-Man still continuing its 616 shit. Why? it's not been good for like 40 years, man. So
So it's
Only
like
been
I know
20
it's
years.
why.
yeah,
Well, nearly 20 years. It was good before One More Day.
I think the end.
Yeah,
should go
yeah,
Acts 3.
yeah.
Well, it's like, and I get the whole wanting, but like I think characters in comics are just like, even the big ones. Like I would. It sounds like I hate Superman, but like holy shit, can't he just die and just stay dead? Can't he just not
I'm
bring
sure-
him back? Is
sounds
that
like you
is
love
that is that
Superman
just
Doomsday.
not allowed? I love Death of Superman.
Well, I like Superman.
I don't even
coming
love.
back
I
'cause,
think
you know.
I think the worst
Superman's a great
part, the
character.
thing I hate the most about Death of Superman is that they didn't even wait till the next movie to bring him back. They brought him back literally, like in Death of Superman. They brought him back. They had him break out of his fucking tomb, and I think that shit is stupid.
What movie?
Death of Superman.
Oh, like the animated movie. I
They had
don't,
him-
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, no, it's when like they're talking about it, and then Lois is like, Jimmy, I'm not in the mood for a story right now. It's like, no, you gotta see this. They go to Superman's tomb, and he already left. It's like you couldn't have waited until the next fucking movie to pull this shit. Like, why couldn't you just let me enjoy the movie and just have him die, and I don't have to watch the next one? And then I can just say he died in that movie. I can't even do that.
Well, I'm heading off for tonight, gents. So
Alrighty.
have a good one.
Have a good one.
See you later.
Goodbye.
Cheers,
Yeah,
guys,
man.
in
I
chat.
would love
for
that.
showing up. Have a good evening, everyone.
Have a good evening.
Goodbye.
All right.
Yeah, no. It's why I like manga more.
Well,
I read a
okay.
manga like Demon Slayer. They beat the main fight. Fucking the story ends. The story ends. You get an epilogue where the characters move on with their lives, and like that is it.
DJ, I don't know what
Fiend.
you're saying about Thunderbolts. That was hot ass.
What?
Dude. He's just
PJ.
typing incoherently.
I understand that you feel this way, PJ.
PJ?
Are we still
I
streaming?
understand.
Yes, we are. PJ?
Why are we still streaming?
you
SK,
taped
shut
me?
off the stream.
You taped me?
You take me, you asshole! No wonder.
Wait, SK,
no
are you
wonder
saying-
Colin left you.
SK, are you saying that they're watching the stream?
Yeah, I am. Read a mango? Synth, what's a mango?
A mango.
I'm pretty sure that's a fruit, isn't it?
Yeah, but I can't read a fruit, so why is he saying read a mango? Is there an alternate meaning? Is there something I don't know?
Oh,
What is that?
he misspelled. Yeah, you should read manga. In fact, everyone here should read manga. Everyone here should read High Rise Invasion. Go do it. Go do it now. Go read the High Rise Invasion. Go do it.
Oh, really good one.
You don't even know what High Rise Invasion is.
Nope.
Exactly. Yes, no, everyone here should go read High Rise Invasion. Absolute cinema, complete peak.
I hope the MCU
Don't watch the
inevitably
anime.
reboots. It stops
Do
with
not
this
watch the
continuity
anime. The anime
shenanigans
sucks
it's
balls.
limiting.
Do not watch the anime.
Well, it's not that bad if you do it well, but they haven't done it well in a while. Their last good one isn't even an MCU movie.
What last good one?
Deadpool and Wolverine. That's not even an MCU movie. That's really just a Fox
And this-
movie, for being real.
It's not even great. It's just good.
Yeah, it's just decent. That's it.
It's
fine.
just alright. It's just okay. It's not even like wow.
Masterpiece like
you know?
Guardians 3.
But no, you see, yes, I don't know if you're here for it. Did you hear that Thunderbolts apparently underperformed both Eternals and Black Adam?
Yeah.
Well, did you know Colin apparently thinks that that Thunderbolts made a lot of money, and so therefore, so he used it to shit on Drinker.
He
but
used
like,
it to say the
made
MCU
way more
isn't
money
dying.
than. Yeah, the MCU
That's
isn't
the
dying.
problem.
It
That's
made
the problem
so
I
much
have.
money.
I do think Thunderbolts was actually a more enjoyable film, and a film that lots of people that I know that haven't watched MCU stuff were actually able to enjoy. Like, despite its flaws, it's the MCU film in the longest time that can actually stand on its own as a enjoyable film, and it is. It's an enjoyable watch, and I know loads of people that don't watch MCU stuff that enjoyed it, but it's doing badly, and I don't think it's entirely Thunderbolt's fault. I think it's entirely the fault of the fatigue. Like, everything before it has just been such absolute crap. Like, it's just been hogwash. So, at the end of the day, like, as much as we can say Thunderbolts has the same issues as the other films, it doesn't on a level of being an enjoyable piece of media on its own. You know, like I went with someone that hasn't watched any MCU film and they loved it, and that's something the MCU has not been able to do in a very, very long time, and that's what we're missing. We're missing more films that can just be their own story and have their own character development within the film that doesn't matter outside of it. Because every character in there, that could be your first time watching it, and you get good character development from them. I completely feel that way about it.
I think the main problem is that, like, with their past entries, like, if you watch the whole thing...
Wait. So is Taskmaster's character development going from being live to...
Well, no, we don't talk about that. We don't talk...
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you don't care about the MC, if you're not looking at the MCU as a whole, Taskmaster dying at the very start doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. There have been films that have done things like that before that have been standalone films. Yeah, it's kind of nuts because Taskmaster was done like shit in the previous film, and now they're being killed off quickly. But we only feel that way because they were done like shit in the previous film.
Well, I think, like, the main problem with this movie is that there's just it neglects continuity in the MCU, and then that's probably the big reason.
Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares at this point? I'm sorry. It neglects continuity with trash.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care anymore. Yeah. I really don't care anymore. I used to care when continuity actually used to matter. But continuity, when you bother with continuity and you get shit on for caring about the continuity, how are you supposed to care about it anymore?
If you're gonna break continuity, you can at least break it and make it.
Well, Guardians 3 stayed with continuity, and that did well.
Within itself, because it never touched the other stuff, and it was done by the same guy.
Well, it touched the
continuous with his own thoughts.
In Endgame.
Barely. Get a grip.
What you mean barely? A key point of it is that Gamora is dead, and it's a different person.
And the movie would have been better if that hadn't happened. Bro,
wait,
James Gunn didn't want to write a movie where Gamora was replaced by a fucking... Do you genuinely think that Guardians 3 is a better movie because Gamora is a different version? No.
Can you objectively prove that it would have been better? Can you objectively...
No, you're the one that made this point.
Show me that right now. Show me that right now.
Do you genuinely think that Guardians 3 is a better film because Gamora is some alternate universe version of her that has no connection to
it adds to Star-Lord's arc. It adds to his arc. It makes him a better character.
But it's an arc that is done from a shit movie.
Show me that.
They turned shit into gold. How is that?
I would prefer the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy if I was able to watch all three movies without any other jank outside of it.
That's subjective, little bro.
I know, that's why I said I in the sentence.
Yeah, that's subjective, little bro.
You also said Guardians 3 would have been a better movie, and you can't.
This is the thing. You can say it's subjective, but my subjectivity matters because I have more people to talk about the film with in real life. So my opinion is spread like the word of Jesus.
I didn't. Show me that.
No, I didn't.
Right. If the only issues we can talk about are continuity, I don't care. I don't have the time or money to watch consistent slop, I am much happier
how about we not talk
taking
about continuity?
like
how about we not
friends...
talk about continuity? Let's not talk about continuity. Why didn't Sentry just auto kill the Thunderbolts, bro?
Because he didn't want to. What the fuck is your point there?
Why would he?
He very clearly didn't want to kill them.
The Void would want to. The Void would want to. The Void's evil.
They went into the Void, so what are you talking about? It wouldn't matter if they went into the Void 5 minutes earlier.
Why didn't he snap Yelena's neck? Why didn't he just fucking kill her?
Because the Void didn't do... That's not what the Void did to literally anyone, so what the fuck is your point?
Yeah, so the Void is a fucking pussy?
You're just creating a new
look out,
character
guys!
that
The
isn't in the
Void
film.
is so evil. Whoa, he's so
The
evil.
Void,
that he
the
won't even
Void
fucking
wasn't
kill
evil.
anyone.
The Void wanted everyone to feel the Void that they felt. They didn't want to go around snapping people's necks. You're creating a character that doesn't exist.
Well, didn't they
So
attack?
try and stay within the singular film
You
we're
know-
talking about.
You know what's the truest feeling? A feeling like a void, being dead, because then you were literally in a void because there's no heaven or hell. So why
What
does
are
he
you
just kill
fucking
them?
talking about? What are you fucking talking
If
about?
you're dead,
You are
everything is
creating
black.
a
So
movie
he
that
would
doesn't
be bringing
fucking
you
exist.
to the void. That would be a void.
That would be a void.
Okay, if someone upset me and I said, I'm gonna piss in their soup, and you go, why bother pissing in their soup? It'd be much worse if you shoved a rod up their ass. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, that's not the fucking point though, is it? What are we
Yeah, but the
talking
void
about?
is
You can't
evil.
justify.
Well,
oh,
how
this
did
isn't-
it
this
lose
isn't-
then? How did it lose then? If it
Yeah,
can
how
show
did it lose
similarities?
if it's if it's so evil and powerful? How did it lose?
I'm not the
It
one
seems
saying
like-
it's
it
so
seems like the
evil and
Void is
powerful.
a
That's
big
not.
pussy.
You're making
Seems like
that
he's
point,
just a
not
big
me.
pussy.
You can't. Right. You. The Void is not a pussy. The Void had a very
Yeah, he
specific
is.
thing
He's a
it was
bitch.
doing
He
to
can't even
everyone.
go through with it and kill the fucking good guys.
It didn't want to.
What a
Where are
fucking
you getting
loser.
it from that its goal was to just kill
Yeah.
the good guys?
Of
You're
course he
making
didn't
up a
want to.
movie.
He's a pussy.
All we're
He's a
asking
pussy
for-
because he
all
didn't
we're
want
asking
to.
for-
What a pussy.
All we're asking for is a little
Pattern up and actually talk about the same film that I watched. Because you're not gonna,
This is-
you're not gonna win by just making up a new film.
All right, let's.
Dude, if
Let me-
if Homelander saw the Void, he would literally go, "You're a fucking pussy. You can't go through with it. Kill yourself."
Well, okay, so here's what I'm thinking. If the Void can, I guess, do whatever in there, it just creates whatever. Why can't the Void just like move them?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, bro.
Why can't the Void?
What are you
just,
actually?
Like, move
What are we
them away?
actually talking about? What do you think the Void? What do you think the Void was doing?
I don't.
The
Clearly
Void was
nothing if it
being
got defeated so
disingenuous.
bad.
Yeah, the Void is a fucking idiot.
Right. The only thing that the Void could do outside of it was put. Well, not what the thing the Void wanted to do was put people in the Void. He did that successfully. So
Yeah.
what's your issue?
So why did he fail later in the movie?
Because the Void is inside the same body with the guy with the depression that caused him to act out like that.
Oh, because of his little first world problems he lost? What a fucking lame
Just
villain.
because you haven't gotten over yours, it doesn't mean that we have to be mad that the Void got over his. But there is no point there. You have no point.
I'm Dad, where? I'm on my phone all
Look at
day and I
him.
smell
Look
like
at him.
butter.
Nah, guys, the Void is clearly a fantastic villain. I loved
Right,
when his
here's-
origin story is they experimented on him, and then for some reason I don't know what the fuck they did with the body. They just fucking locked it in a coffin somewhere, I guess.
There's literally
Didn't
children
bury it.
starving in like
Didn't cremate
fucking
it.
less fortunate countries, and he's complaining about being a drug addict. What a fucking little bitch.
Okay, here's the only reason
Fucking
why
loser.
Thunderbolts is the best MCU in the past 10 years. I have been
best-
able to
not
take a
10.
girl to that movie without feeling embarrassed because it's an actual good and enjoyable watch and it's not
Not
slop.
10. Not 10.
So I don't give a shit.
Not 10 years. Not 10 years.
It's not.
Oh,
It's
longer.
not.
It is the best one in the past 1 year.
What are you considering was better last year?
Deadpool and Wolverine and Guardians.
You
3.
just said that wasn't an
Yeah.
MCU movie. So
True.
be consistent.
Okay, Guardians
You
3
can't
then.
even be
Guardians 3
consistent
then.
with your continuity. Fucking dickhead.
I don't know why you
Loki's
got
better. Loki was better.
Lo-
Loki.
Loki,
That's
shut up.
crazy.
Don't get
That's
me on Loki.
crazy.
Don't get me on Loki.
If you can sit
Yes,
next to
regardless.
someone that you actually care about in real life and sit next to them and watch Loki and make them sit through it, fuck me. Like, do you even care about your family and your friends?
Do you care about
Like-
your family? Do you care about your family?
Dude,
Feel about-
if
stop
I'm
feel about
sitting
asking
there
someone to watch
forcing
Thunderbolts
people to
today,
watch Slot, and then I'm like, yeah, but it's with its continuity. Oh, it doesn't break this. Oh, what? Fuck me! Go and watch a movie.
But
that's
why
not
would I force
Why,
embarrassing
why
or
did
what?
Valentina show the timer to them? Why did she show the timer to them? In the bomb.
Why would I take them? Wait, so in that case, why would I take them to watch Thunderbolts and not Guardians 3 or not Fantastic Four, which is coming out, or not Doctor
Oh,
Strange?
so a movie that
Movies
isn't
that
out
also-
yet with being into the fucking
Continuity.
date. Fucking numpty.
Yeah, I am.
Fucking
Yeah, because it
crusters.
looks like it's gonna be better than Thunderbolts. It looks like it's gonna be
Fucking
better.
crust.
I will bring it into the
Fucking
on the
numpty.
basis that I think it'll be good. I have I'm going in good faith that the movie will be.
Get
Oh,
this
so you're
fucking-
assuming shit.
Yeah,
Fucking
assuming-
assuming
right.
shit.
Yeah, I'm
Two
assuming the
shit.
movie's gonna be
Shut
good.
up.
Yeah,
Some shit on shit.
assuming the movie's gonna be good. Why would I take someone to watch that?
Don't assume shit.
Why would I take someone to watch fucking Thunderbolts over Fantastic?
Don't
Because it was
assume
Or
shit.
actually,
Doctor
it
Strange
was
or
actually
Guardians
something
3.
fun to watch for people that don't just watch slop all day. For people that actually watch movies, it was an enjoyable movie on its own.
Nah,
I
I didn't
not
give a
force
shit about
anyone
it.
to
For
come
people
with
that
me.
I
actually
didn't
watch
hate it.
movies,
If I was
well,
to-
Fantastic Four isn't a movie.
If I had to force someone to watch a movie, maybe outside of the Guardians films, but even then it's like a bit more like action and sci-fi fantasy heavy. If I was to take someone to watch a movie that's in the MCU and they don't watch other superhero slop, I would take them to see Thunderbolts. It is the most enjoyable in terms of just enjoying it for
Guardians
its
3.
characters.
Guardians 3.
I brought up the Guardians.
Doctor
films.
Strange.
You're not listening.
Doctor Strange,
don't-
Multiverse of Madness. I would rather have people
Absolutely.
Oh, I'd rather
no,
watch
there's
that,
No,
yeah.
There's no second Doctor Strange. There's no second Doctor Strange.
But I'd
The-
still,
the first
I'd still
Doctor
rather
Strange
watch
was-
it.
Okay, the thing about Multiverse of Madness is at least Scarlet
It's
Witch
funny.
isn't a pussy
It's a-
and actually fucking kills the good guys.
But she's also stupid though. So
I don't care. At least she has the balls to like go through with her evilness and fucking kill the good guys. She isn't a fucking pussy like fucking Sentry complaining about his fucking problems, his first world problems like a bitch.
Dude, that's
Fucking
why
whiny
it's
loser.
actually an enjoyable movie, because it's not like big evil bad guy wants to kill everyone. Fuck me, are we actually just mad that we don't have
oh
a
no,
villain
it's
that
big
wants to
evil
kill
bad guy
everyone?
wants to give everybody depression. That's obviously much better. So deep.
It's
Yes,
big
that
evil
is
bad-
actually more interesting than anything we've had in a long time. What are you
It's literally
fucking
not, bro.
talking
That's
about?
Isn't that
Yeah, no,
Electro's?
I think-
Wait, real quick. Isn't that Electro's
That is
motivation?
Electro.
I
That
want
is
everyone to
Electro.
feel a world without power, a world without mercy.
World without power.
He doesn't
Electro.
do
Everyone
that.
else is certain to live in the
Doesn't
darkness.
do that.
He takes out the power in the
It's
city
so
because he
edgy,
wants
it's
everyone to
so
be in
edgy
darkness.
and
See, that's
thought-provoking
Electro.
and deep.
That's no innovation.
No,
That's
you
Electro.
understand that it's edgy and thought-provoking and
Yeah,
deep.
it's literally
therefore good.
Electro. You're literally vehemently defending the motivations and planning of fucking Electro right now, bro, and you don't even know it.
How am I?
But it's
How am I?
thought-provoking.
Don't
It's
stop being
thought-provoking
stupid.
and deep
Don't stop being
conversation.
Void-
It's
stupid.
thought-provoking
All right,
and deep.
you
Because the
can't
Void
just
is a
you
shit
can't
version
just
of
do this
Electro.
very narrow comparison and then say, "Oh, you're now defending this."
Yo,
Don't be
SK,
an
yo,
idiot.
SK,
We've
yo,
done
yo,
harder
SK.
debates than
It
this.
is Electro.
All right,
It is-
Yo,
don't
yo,
treat me on that
yo,
level.
SK,
You're just
SK,
gonna say,
SK,
"Oh, you're defending
SK,
Electro."
Shut
I gotta
fuck
say this,
up.
SK.
Infinite
SK.
Infinite is actually
Despite
the best
all the
Sonic villain
problems-
because he's edgy and deep and dark, and he doesn't want to be seen as weak anymore. That's why
SK.
Infinite is the best.
Yeah.
SK, despite all the fucking bad writing of Electro, at least Electro, unlike the Void, is not a fucking pussy. He actually killed like the Doctor. Remember he drowned him? He actually is willing to kill people. He's not a big bitch.
Boy, he doesn't want to kill people. How are you
I
saying?
know,
Oh,
he's a
bad
loser.
villain because he's a pussy and he doesn't kill people.
Yeah,
What
and
the
he
fuck are
whines
you
about his first
talking
world-
about?
He whines,
What are
he
you
whines about
fucking
first world.
talking about? Oh my
All
god.
right.
This
let-
is a new
let
level
me-
of stupid. This is actually a
let-
new level of stupid.
let-
We're inventing
Let
an
me
entirely
let me give you the full
different character.
criticism. Let me give you the full criticism.
Oh
So
god,
he's
do I
a
do
pussy.
I care enough?
He's,
Yes, you
he's
do,
a
Grant
pussy,
Paulson.
whiny
Yes, you
little
do, Grant
bitch
Paulson.
that is too scared to go through with it to actually kill people, and also his
You
motivation.
at no point have justified why he wants to kill
millennial.
people.
He's
You've
a
not
whiny
got
bitch.
any.
He's, oh, wham, my first world problems. I'm addicted to drugs. Wham. Like, bro, who cares? Go outside. Fucking lame ass Superman ripoff piece of shit.
I think
What are you
Yesh,
fucking talking
I
about?
think Yesh went to the
and
same
evil.
school that Grant Paulson went to in the rage baiting school.
At least I went to one. Fuck me. What the
Yeah,
fuck have we
rage
got over
baiting
here?
Over here.
Over here.
I don't see
Honestly,
anything good about
if
Sentry.
Homelander existed in Thunderbolts, Homelander would be the hero. He would be right.
Homelander would literally be the best character in
The fact
Thunderbolts.
that
and
we're
Homelander's shit.
all arguing that we don't think Sentry is a real enough character based on the issues he has. You've not gone outside enough and met enough types of people.
He
Fucking
hasn't
hell,
gone
holy
outside
shit.
enough. Bro, Sentry's whole thing is that he stays inside and does drugs.
Yeah,
What are you
wait.
talking about
How would you
going
know
outside?
about?
What are you fucking talking
Yes. How would you know about someone like Sentry? Because Sentry just stays inside. He doesn't go outside. So how would you know about him?
He literally does stay inside.
So
is
how
like-
would you
At
know?
what
How
point?
would you know?
At
That's
what
depression.
How would you
This
know?
is a
At what-
whiny
do you
little
know what?
How would
millennial
you
that
know?
can't take some fresh air.
Right, he does not just stay inside and do drugs.
Yes,
You're
he does.
making up a character.
He does.
No, he doesn't.
He never
No, he
goes
doesn't.
outside.
He literally
never
does.
goes outside.
He
No,
literally
oh,
does.
Fuck you.
Wait,
He
wait,
never
wait,
goes
wait,
outside.
wait, SK. The first appearance of Bobby, where was he? Oh yeah, inside. The first time we see him, fucking inside.
Where
Wow.
was he experimented on?
Inside.
See, so he
Indoors.
never goes outside. He
The
never goes
first
outside.
SK, the first time we see the Sentry costume, where do we see
Inside.
it? Indoors.
And
Yeah, he's not outside.
where does he die? Where does he die? Inside.
Inside. What a dog shit character.
He's just
Fucking Sentry. What a
you
piece
can't
of
say
shit.
you can't say we have to go outside. Even if we did, we could never find him. We could never find him.
Okay, but guys, clearly giving everybody depression, best evil plan in the world. It's so relatable to give everybody depression.
Depression, man.
Yeshua.
Yeah,
Depression.
depression.
Well,
man.
that's why the movie's good, because depression exists.
Because depression exists and is a real problem,
That's
and
what
therefore
Colin said.
the villain is amazing because he also has depression.
If you want a character that wants to make people feel the way that he feels, and like fucking look at the Joker. That's like literally what he does, but it's actually entertaining because the Joker's not a pussy and he actually kills people.
And he
shit.
actually goes outside.
And he's funny.
Hey, Liam,
And he's funny.
you know where the iconic
Yeah, first
line, you know the
impression.
iconic line where he's like, hit me,
When
hit
where
me,
does
hit
he-
me. Where is he when he says that? Oh, right, outside.
Yeah, outside.
Outdoors.
Yeah.
When Batman ties him up, he is outdoors.
Exactly.
The first time we see him, he is literally getting sunlight.
Exactly. He's outside.
No, notice how Joker doesn't have a drug addiction and an addiction to his fucking cell phone. He actually is like, a layered character with real reasons to, be the way he is based off traumatic like shit.
Where
Not,
does
"Well, I'm addicted to drugs and I'm sad because I don't go outside enough. I'm
When-
a Sentry.
when we see Harvey
Fucking
Dent
lame-ass
at the
piece
end?
of
Where
shit,
is
though.
he? Where is he at the end?
Outside.
Exactly.
Outside.
When we see Scarecrow for the first time, where do we see him?
Outside, bro.
Exactly.
Well, technically, he's inside a garage,
True,
I guess
true, but he's still going outside.
but he has open air. He has access to the open air.
Exactly.
Shall we
And,
talk about how the
we
Red
know
Guardians
Batman is
missed a
someone
joke?
with mental problems, right? But in Batman Begins, where do we first see Bruce Wayne?
Outside, bro.
Exactly.
The Dark Knight trilogy is literally an allegory of getting fresh air because they know how smelly fucking comic book fucking fans that watch the Thunderbolts are.
Rage baiting themselves as terminally online, no education, no offline motivation, pisses in the shower, never got a standing ovation, denies their own depression, stinking ass, no daddy, crusty almost never goes to watch the movies with any person, more than 2 phone numbers, and canceling each other's stench while they talk about other bad characters while having no character of their own, rage baiting me because they can't even get a real emotion out of their own family.
You sound upset. Are you upset, Yash?
He's turning into the Joker.
I think he's just mad that we're criticizing his sacred cow.
His sacred depression simulator.
His sacred depression.
Thunderbolts and the dilemma of first world problems.
Guys,
Everyone, check
Loki
Queen Man
would've
in
been-
general.
Loki-
Our announcements. Check announcements.
Loki would have been a way better character if instead of invading Earth with the Chitauri, he used the scepter to give everybody depression.
I
That would have
stole
been an
Yash's
epic
work.
story.
Bro, that's how Ultron would have won. He should have just given everybody access to Twitter.
Bro, that's what turned Ultron into Ultron Widow. That's the whole point.
Exactly. So if you imagine if
Dude,
you
the
gave it
reason
to every
Ultron's
human.
evil is because he has robot depression. He has robo-pression, guys. That's why he wants to destroy everything.
Oh my god.
That's why Vision became a shit character in the future. He caught the robot depression.
The robot depression. Honestly, you know
Well, dude,
why...
the reason Ultron is evil is literally because he looked at the internet and looked at whiny, drug-addicted bitches like fucking Sentry and went, okay, Earth deserves to fucking die. Humanity's fucking fat.
You know why Lonnie joined the 1/10 Intelligence? Depression.
Depression.
You want to know the story of Joker fat a doo-doo? Depression.
Yo, that's why Shadow the Hedgehog is the best Sonic character. Depression.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, depression. You want an automatically deep story? Depression.
SK, next time we do like a video game based thing, let's
Bro,
try and like get
that's
some
why Last
videos to
Jedi-
respond to in the
True.
back catalog so we don't
Wait, I
so we don't
realized
like
it.
run
This
out
is
of
why-
ideas
this
and
is
just
why-
rage bait Yesh.
Yeah.
This is
You're
why
fucking
Last
villain.
Jedi.
You
This is why
why would
Last
Sentry want to
Jedi-
kill the good guys? You fucking Bellin. What are you fucking talking about? What are you fucking
Guys,
talking about?
guys.
What are you
I'm
fucking
not
talking about?
Northern.
This is why.
Fuck me.
This is why Last
You
Jedi
sound
is the
like
best
it.
Star Wars movie. Okay, Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie because Luke faces depression.
You crusty elbow fuck. What are you fucking talking about?
Wait, Liam, have you seen the Kronos versus Yesh debate on the Fire Mountain? Have you-
No.
have you- He's got to
Oh my
see it
God.
then. He's got to see it then. We'll watch
Do we
it
still?
after
Do we
stream.
still have it?
We do.
Do
we
we
do
still
have
have
it.
it?
We do have it.
Well,
SK, let's end the stream. Let's end the stream.
All right, we're gonna
I
end
think
it
we're
now.
done.
We're gonna end this right
We're
now. We're
done.
gonna end this right now.